Cancel culture is about canceling.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
Systematic bullying that's happening.
And they believe that they that
Cocaína.
Never had a gun, but it's the wax that the Terminator X spun. Now they got me in a cell cause my records they sell. Cause a brother like me said, well,
it's one like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, which yells you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that puts against the bed, this that I got realness, I just push, cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got young, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
We'll see who cancels. They want you to comply.
Lance is here, I can tell because of the echo on the stream.
What happened to our names on the show? I remember it used to show our names at the bottom. It doesn't do that anymore.
Still hear it?
You can turn it on still if you want to.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's in.
Yeah, put the names on.
Yeah, because I feel like people that just coming to this are confused. I'm just wearing a hat because Ben's wearing a hat, and I don't want to make him feel alone. So I don't have a James hat for some reason.
Paradigm has a hat too. Oh my god, why did I wear a hat?
I would wear a Jay's hat if I had one, but I do not.
By the way, welcome to the show. Paradigm is back, everybody. Say hello to Paradigm.
Woo!
What's up?
Hi, everybody.
We are very close on your face. I can almost see your
Paradigm
pores.
Shift on the 105.1 FM. Welcome.
Nice. There we go.
Hope you're having a great night.
Why is your camera like 8K?
I am so.
It's like so crystal clear.
Yeah, I could like look at your pupils.
I am going to, for the first time ever, actually explain that. Outside of the fact that I already am as you could tell, a videographer. I make movies. I 110% believe that these platforms, the way we are bigger than what we think we are. We represent more than what we think we are. I am at every time always ready to say, hey, look, here's a presentation, here's a production that looks like something you'd see on TV. How can we expand upon that? So I'm just the example.
It looks like I'm watching like a Vice interview.
That explains nothing, but okay.
Explained
it looks very good.
I like the depth. I'm not.
No,
I like
really
the depth of field. It just feels like I'm like watching a documentary in the corner here. Like,
yeah,
let me try this. Hold
yeah.
on. Let me see if I can get this going.
I've been doing this for a decade. I could not get quality even close to that Paradigm. So credit to you. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Here we go. I'm gonna try this. Here, I'm gonna look to the side. Let's zoom in here.
Oh, there you go. That's not bad.
Paradigms is better. I gotta be honest.
We should all just have.
Well, because I
angle.
just have a white background, so there's no depth of field. You can't really tell via. If I put my hand back here.
See, that's where
the hair coming out of the back of your head is a little bit blurred out, so that can add. That adds a little depth.
Got to have a separation of your lighting.
I need to put some. some posters on my wall or something.
I don't want to get this close.
I could back up.
You can count my wrinkles. I'm good.
Back up, but it's not gonna make you feel any better.
If I get that close, you all will see how old I am because all the gray hairs and my beard will stick out. So I'm not gonna do it, and I don't know how.
So what's up, everyone? Let's do the show. Let's roll.
I just noticed Binder's nose ring, so that maybe that angle is good. We can glean some new things from it.
You have a septum piercing, Matt, like an SJW. I love that.
I've had it for like over like a year or two now.
I never noticed before.
It's been in my nose every single day for like 2 years.
No kidding. I love
Well, if you
that.
if you shaved your mustache, I would have seen it.
No. Well, I'll shave my mustache. Just so you can see my
mustache. Do an Abe. I love how we've been fucking around for like 10 minutes. Welcome to the show, everybody.
The vibe.
We didn't even welcome anyone because right off the bat I went, Lance, you're echoing.
Yeah, we welcome Paradigm.
Does it sound okay?
No, it's fine now.
Lance.
Now.
Okay. All right, nice. Okay, good.
Nobody commented on my new shelf.
Now I'm a little obsessed with using that angle.
I like
need to get some stuff in my background. Thank you, Paradigm. I'm gonna experiment with that. And the depth.
I'm noticing that when everybody says they get a new shelf, it's always attached to that silver play button. I feel that's a flex.
Yeah, it is definitely. David's
keep missing which finger it is.
David, is that an IKEA?
Of course.
Yes. Of course. Everyone has that. I have that same one.
Everyone has at least like 2 of these.
Yeah.
Do you really? It's beautiful. I like it. I like the DK bongos. I love the NES Classic controllers. Just
it needs some backlighting.
10.
But it
Wait, no shit. That's an IKEA. Oh my god. I visited Josie a couple weeks ago, and I helped her put up that same one, but in black. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Wow. Everybody got that shot.
Everyone has
Josie. Do we know Josie?
Josie
I'd like
Rose?
to see how she
Josie
decorated it as well.
Kaya Bero? I think you've had her on the show.
Oh, okay. We do know. Yeah, we love Josie. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Honestly, the first thing I thought of
it.
was that Blink-182 song.
Fair.
All right, so what are we going to talk about?
All right, that's the show
today?
tonight.
There's a lot to talk about. First of all, was there, Paradigm, how did Mike lure you onto the show? Was there a specific topic that we had in mind, or just
No, I asked him because I've had a lot of people throughout the last time I was here continuously ask why I wasn't back on the show, and I was like, hey, I tried to reach out to Lance, but Lance is not good with social media,
Lance.
so I didn't.
I haven't.
I said message me on Discord, not on Twitter.
This is fair.
This
is very fair.
Other than doing streams,
God damn it, Lance!
Since July, I've barely been on. So like it's it's the summer. I
haven't been on a lot too.
Nice to have you here. You're joining us on a incredible news day, because there is actually a lot to talk about. I mean, where do we begin? Do we begin with Hulk Hogan? Maybe I don't know.
Hulk Hogan.
I mean,
let's
he
ease
died.
into it.
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan is now officially dead. Vaccine? Anyone?
All right.
So
I gotta say,
he got the vaccine, I believe, in 2022, and ever since then, I think he got myocarditis. No, never mind. I'm not gonna. I don't want YouTube to mistake us for conspiracy theorists.
I gotta say, like I have a long history of watching pro wrestling. I got into it when I was like 3 years old. My dad was watching it. That's the height of Hulkamania. I had all the wrestling figures. I had Hulk Hogan toys. I was a big Hulkamaniac back in the day. Although I believe I liked the Ultimate Warrior more than Hulk, but I liked them both. Both of them ended up being very problematic in life, but that's a different story. For Ultimate Warrior, we'll talk about Hulk Hogan now. But like for me, the Hulk Hogan that everyone knew and loved as the Hulkamania Hulk Hogan from the 90s and then from the 80s and 90s, and then the NWO Hulk Hogan from the late 90s, early 2000s. That Hulk Hogan was basically dead and died a long time ago. Because Hulk Hogan, as he became from like the mid 2000s on, became like a white trash reality TV racist like a-hole. And yes, that's likely who he always was, because we know that back in the 80s, Jesse Ventura was fired from the WWE. Jesse Ventura, the former governor of Minnesota, who was a huge wrestling star. He was fired from then WWF by Vince McMahon, and for trying to form a union, a wrestlers union. And Jesse Ventura didn't know this at the time, but later on, during a deposition in a lawsuit, Vince McMahon was asked, "How did you find out that Jesse Ventura was unionizing the wrestlers, trying to form a union?" And he said, "Hulk Hogan told me." Hulk Hogan was Jesse Ventura's friend who ratted him out. Hulk Hogan had no need for a union. He was on his way to becoming, at the time, the biggest wrestling star in history. With all things said and done, Hulk Hogan did have an immense influence on pro wrestling. He turned it into a sort of a wrestling. Wrestling was big as a pro wrestling when Hulk Hogan came along, and then Hulk Hogan turned pro wrestling into a larger than life pop cultural phenomenon. Wrestling was big because of like people like Bruno Sammartino back in the 70s and early 80s, but Hulk Hogan turned it from like a popular like pseudo sport into like a form of entertainment. And that can't be denied for sure. But with all that said, you can't also talk about Hulk Hogan without talking about the guy who had a number of incredibly racist incidents come up over the past decade or so. It even goes beyond that. I mentioned the union thing, but then during the reality TV show days, he did a horrible job as a parent to his kids, and his son Nick ended up being a little fucking monster. And he would regularly get in trouble for speeding and drinking and all that. And one time, he was speeding with his friend in the passenger seat, and they got into a car accident, and it left his friend with literally a hole in his brain and permanent paralysis. And Hogan at the time basically said, God has a plan for everything. That was his way of excusing his son of any sort of culpability in that. Furthermore, like I said, the racist stuff. So in 2015, Gawker famously dropped the Hulk Hogan sex tape that leaked. Hulk Hogan was caught in a cuckold situation where he was having sex with his best friend's wife, with his best friend in the other room.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yeah, Bubba the Love Sponge. He apparently didn't know Bubba the Love Sponge was recording this. Bubba the Love Sponge on the video is seen telling his wife, like, "Oh man, if we ever need to make money off of this, we can easily do something with this tape." But the tape leaked. Gawker published it. Hogan teamed up with Peter Thiel to take down Gawker. I think the reason Hogan went after Gawker for the sex tape was because this other piece of the tape that later came out, that he thought Gawker was going to leak. Gawker ended up not having this part of the tape, but this is the part of the tape that leaked shortly after, where he's laying there with the woman who he just had sex with, and he's going on this incredibly racist rant about this black man that his daughter Brooke is seeing, dropping the N-word, hard R, numerous times, talking about how he doesn't want his daughter with black men, and just going incredibly not even passive racism, hardcore race. Not that that's okay either, but hardcore racism. To the point where Hogan even just says casually to the woman, I guess I'm pretty racist. Like literally admitting it on the tape. And if that wasn't bad enough, later on, I think a year or two down the line, his son is in prison, and the phone call between Hogan and his son leaks, and Hulk Hogan's going on this incredibly racist rant about black people using Carney speak to try to hide it, calling them like Blizz Piz or something like that. And one of the things he says is that he just hopes karma doesn't resurrect them as black people. Like, just for no reason, just going on this incredibly racist rant about how he has a fear of coming back as a black person in the afterlife. Just bizarre stuff. Obviously, dude's got issues. And then of course he endorses Trump. Hardcore endorses Trump. Comes out at the RNC. Comes out at the Trump
accepted
rallies.
that endorsement. Of course.
Yeah, of course. And
now he's dead.
Now he's dead. I mean, the last time he was seen on pro wrestling television was earlier this year in January when WWE Raw debuted on Netflix for the first time, and they brought in Hulk Hogan along with a number of other big stars, and Hulk Hogan showed up, and the crowd in Los Angeles booed the shit out of him to the point where there were plans to involve Hogan further in future episodes of the show, and they wrote that out. Hulk Hogan's first and last time on WWE Raw and Netflix was earlier this year when the crowd booed the shit out of him. So the guy who basically put WWE on the map as like this beyond niche pro wrestling industry into this like global phenomenon. The guy who did that, the last time he was seen on the show that he helped for the company he helped build, was getting booed the shit out of him. It was, I guess a perfect little end to that career. This is a guy who easily could have ended up as like, the most beloved star in the industry. His character in his heyday was a guy beloved by kids who told them to, say their prayers and eat their vitamins. And, his theme song was, "I'm a real American, fight for the rights of every man." Not every American, every man. And here he is years later endorsing Donald Trump, backing his rhetoric around undocumented immigrants, just being a total a-hole. Of course, the racism stuff, where a lot of wrestlers have still not forgiven him, because one of the things, by the way, was Hogan never even apologized for what was caught on camera. In fact, when he held a meeting with WWE talent, so he was fired in 2015 by the WWE for the tape. And then years later, they brought him back because I guess they felt enough time had passed. And he held a meeting with the talent. And a lot of people, especially the black wrestlers, thought he was going to apologize. And his whole speech basically wasn't an apology for saying the things he said. It was like tips and tricks for young wrestlers. Be careful what you say because there's cameras everywhere. That was literally his like message to them about what happened to him. It wasn't like I was a bad person, I had horrible beliefs, and I, got help for them and changed my ways. And I've spoken with some of you who helped me see the light. No. He basically said, moral of the story, don't get caught. And so, this is how he'll be remembered by a lot of people.
And his wife left him, and his daughter cut off contact, so he died alone, really, as well. So, a little
well, he had a number of wives after his he left his ex-wife left him. Who
Linda
all
from Hogan
like,
Knows Best.
Yeah, Linda.
So he had more after her. Jesus.
Oh, like 2 or 3 more, and every single one of them looked like his daughter. Yeah.
What I think is bigger than Hogan, though, is the story when you were talking about Gawker, and a lot of people don't know this, is Peter Thiel, who's now the one who's basically like bankrolling JD Vance. The reason he did that is he'd actually been planning to take down Gawker for a while, because Gawker was one of the first places that reported on Peter Thiel being gay. Now, it wasn't that they outed Peter Thiel. He was actually known to be gay, but he didn't want stories based around him. And the story that they did on Peter Thiel was specifically because Peter Thiel was being a hypocrite in that he was also trying to fund anti-LGBTQ plus legislation as a gay man. And that's why Gawker ran that story. So Peter Thiel actually was looking for anything to take down Gawker. So it's really more of a story of a billionaire using his resources, finding an in with the sex tape, and then using that to destroy an entire independent, well, not independent, but media empire effectively, which is really dangerous. And he's been like an absolute terror ever since.
Right. I mean, I always thought like Gawker, I get why they had to defend it, but it was always disappointing to me that like the hill they died on was the Hulk Hogan sex tape. They put out so much good work over the years,
Well, why
And to
wasn't that
lose all-
illegal? If it was filmed without his consent, that's the part I don't get. Like, that isn't that a crime?
Well, I mean, the crime would be, I
Shouldn't
guess,
Bubba
with
be in jail?
Bubba the Love
That'd be
Sponge, right?
revenge
Not
porn,
Gawker
right?
particularly. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
Gawker was found liable for posting that, but I always felt like the sex tape wasn't anything like it was really like uneventful. It was very bad. It was a very bad sex tape. It easily would have been forgotten very quickly if he didn't, if there wasn't an issue made out of it. But my opinion is that he was afraid that the rest of the tape would come out, and it turned out Gawker didn't even have it. Like, it was on the same tape, the racist rant. Like, it was the same long video footage from that same day, that same moment, but Gawker wasn't given that part of the tape. They just had the sex part of the tape.
I'm confused. So the sex tape and the racist rant were all like. Did he like bust the nut and then go on a racist rant? Like, or was it just different?
In the racist rant. Now, listen, I don't know. I don't know. I listen. I got to be a good journalist here. I don't know if the racist rant happened before or after he ejaculated. So we got.
Okay.
But the racist rant video is him literally that same camera, that same time, that same day. He's laying next to Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, naked in bed.
And who the fuck is Bubba the Love Sponge?
He's this Florida radio jockey who was big.
It's the guy that Tucker Carlson used to call into all the time, Mike. You may have heard the Tucker Carlson tape where Tucker Carlson's basically being a pedophile a bunch of times. That was him calling this the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
That was Bubba. Okay. Because it sounded familiar, but like the name is so stupid. Like, why was it sounding familiar? I shouldn't know this person. Okay, I'm sorry.
Racist, misogynistic shock jock is what he was.
Right. So he was friends with Hogan, and then I guess they had a falling out, and he leaked this. But yeah, I mean, listen, Hogan is who he became, and you gotta. I think a lot of people are shocked that like the hardcore wrestling fans are like throwing Hogan under the bus. They hate him. They've hated him for a while now. Because also he was known for not being such a great person within the industry. Now, like, this doesn't matter to regular people who don't work in the pro wrestling business, but he was known for being a dick. When you get to a certain point in your career in pro wrestling as a wrestler, you're supposed to pass the torch. You're supposed to put the younger talent over. You're a huge star. You got to give them the rub so they can continue the business and, more people have success or whatever. Hogan, for his whole career, when he became 40, 50, 60, well into he just refused to put over other wrestlers to the point where it became like an ongoing joke among even hardcore wrestling fans where like there was like, I don't even know if Hogan ever even said this, but a regular thing was in Hogan voice when Hulk Hogan would go over someone, would beat somebody who he shouldn't have beat because it didn't make any sense for this like old man to beat this young, like incredibly ripped talent. It would be like the joke would be Hogan like walked in the room and saw the script and was like, "This isn't gonna work for me, brother." And he would in his contract, it would like he had the contract where he was able to rewrite his matches. He had the final say on what happened to Hulk Hogan, the character, whether he won or lost. And so he took advantage of that. And so he rubbed a lot of wrestlers the wrong way. Now, this obviously doesn't matter to Hogan, the person, in terms of like how he was as a regular human being and a moral figure or whatever, like more morally or whatever. But it just gives you an insight into like the type of guy he was, that even like within the industry, people like did not like him because he was sort of an egomaniac. He looked out for numero uno all the time and never really cared for anybody else. And apparently that extended to his family because he hasn't spoken to his daughter in years. And from what I was reading, his son-in-law reached out after his daughter almost died while giving birth to his Hogan's granddaughter 2 years ago. And Hulk Hogan still wanted nothing to do with her and didn't even ever meet his granddaughter.
I was gonna say that contract has to at least partly, like, that's partly Vince's fault as well, right? Like, why would he allow Hogan to have that much control over his own career in a way that he didn't let anybody else like that?
Right. Well, part of this was when Hogan jumped to WCW too. That was he got the better contract from there because Ted Turner was behind it, and Ted Turner had a lot of money and was willing to throw it all at WCW to have them beat Vince McMahon and WWE. And, you know, so a lot of that came from there. But yeah, I mean, you know, Hogan and Vince looked out for each other, and you sort of see why two people like that, you know, now that what we know about Hogan and Vince, the type of people who help each other out and make sure they have tons of success and everyone else is held behind. Like, that's part of why Hogan, you know, Jesse Ventura tells the story where WrestleMania 3, I think that's 89, WrestleMania 3, one of the biggest wrestling events ever. I think something like tens of millions of people watched Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant fight each other. It's the infamous match where Hulk Hogan body slams Andre the Giant. It's like an iconic moment in like wrestling and pop culture. And according to Jesse Ventura, Hulk Hogan got paid more than Andre the Giant and the rest of the roster combined for that show. Like, you know, and that's one of the reasons Hogan didn't care for a union. He wouldn't benefit. In fact, a union might have took some money away from Hogan, so he wasn't going to have that.
I also learned that other wrestlers had body slammed Andre the Giant, but they had pretended at the time that it was like a big deal that Hogan was doing it.
So that's something Hogan has also been known for. A lot of wrestling stories that have come from Hogan, you can't trust them. Like, Hulk Hogan has told a ridiculous amount of extremely false stories throughout his career. Like, he literally believed his own hype and like would make stories up. Like,
I would like to give one.
Yo, please
really
go ahead.
Quickly, there's a story that Hulk Hogan once used to travel to Japan to wrestle, and because he would travel back and forth from Japan, he believed that the days that he was traveling also added to the amount of the days in the year. So when he would go back and wrestle that same night, obviously the time zone goes backwards. So he would say things like, "I wrestled for like 400 days a year," as compared to these new guys who can only wrestle 2 or 3 times a month.
Right. I think I've heard that one. I mean, he'd famously say how like he caused, like, Andre the Giant had a heart attack because of the body slam or something like that, which is obviously not true. They worked together to have that moment happen. Hulk Hogan wasn't body slamming Andre the Giant unless Andre the Giant allowed him to. Andre the Giant was fucking huge. He would. This is one of my favorite stories from Hogan. So he tells the story about how his manager was trying to call him back in like the late 80s, early 90s or something, and he wasn't picking up the phone. And then finally he picked up the phone and his manager was like, you know, "I want you to endorse one of these products, this home grill or this like home kitchen blender." And Hogan was like, "I'll do the grill." And then the manager gets back to him a couple hours later and says, "Because you didn't pick up my calls, you missed out on the grill. George Foreman took it. We'll go with the blender." And Hogan tells that story as how he could have been the guy with the George Foreman grill, but he missed out on it and had an unsuccessful blender. There's no truth to that story that anyone knows about. There's no corroboration of that story.
So he's like Trump. He just makes things up.
There's another story where Hogan claimed he was going to be the bassist for Metallica or something like that. No truth to that story. There's another story where so Hulk Hogan had an album.
The real one's believable.
Hulk Hogan put out an album where he had a song called like a Hulkamaniac in Heaven or something, and he told the story about like there was this like huge fan of his, this little kid who was a huge Hulkamaniac, and he met him backstage at Wembley Arena when he was wrestling over in the UK. And he went out to have his match knowing the kid was sick, and he wished him, you know, the kid wished him good luck, and he said, "I'm wrestling for you." And while he was in the ring, the kid died backstage. Like, he had to be taken to the hospital and the kid died. Not only is that story not true, Hulk Hogan's never wrestled at Wembley Stadium. So, I mean, he just constantly just made shit up and told these stories as if it was real. And this wasn't like Hulk Hogan the character doing this in a storyline. These were like stories that he would tell that purportedly were supposed to be like Hulk Hogan the person, not Hulk Hogan the character in a wrestling storyline.
That's like some kind of sick. Like, he's Hulk. He doesn't have to make things up. Like, why? Yeah, why does he feel the need? Well, he has enough real stories. States, it's so bizarre.
Like, I'd say that about Trump too.
Which is the connection I want to make here. The next big story that we're obviously going to have to talk about is obviously Donald Trump's connection to Jeffrey Epstein and how it's exploding the MAGA base left and right. One of the things that I wanted to mention about this entire Hulk Hogan story is that he was very embedded in the MAGA process throughout his election. And it seems as though he's taken that approach to thinking this entire thing is kayfabe, that this entire program, this entire country can be willed and pushed like he's the heel and he needs to find a baby face to go over, and he just can't find that person. We have him dodging every question so far, as into now he's investigating Obama for sedition, or as he says it, sedation.
Oh, right. He said sedation. Did he say he was being sedacious, or it was sedation? I can't remember what it was. But
he said it was. I think he said it's sedacious. Yeah,
sedacious.
Wow. I love it so much. By the way, did you all see? So there was a 2010 testimony of a deposition, or it was a deposition of Jeffrey Epstein, and he was asked on the record about his social life with Donald Trump. They said, do you know Trump? And he says, yes. And then they ask him if he had a social life with Trump regarding girls under the age of 18. His response is insane. Have you all seen this video yet? Because I could pull up the clip.
It's the fifth.
You could show it. I've seen it.
Yeah, you can show it. And Mike, you know what's wild? I quote tweeted that with just saying a line like Donald Trump's a pedophile. And anything I've ever said on Twitter about Donald Trump, I get all these reply guides. There's going to be at least a minimum of 10 who are just like, you're an F slur, go fuck yourself, fuck off, fuck you, Canadian. This one had 0 replies. And I was like, oh shit, it's the first time they're like, I don't know if we can touch this one. Like, this one is bad. It looks really, really bad.
Well, I will say that I did check the replies under Ilhan Omar's, because hers is the first one that I saw, so I retweeted that. And you do have some racists just chiming in. Hang on, let me bring it in here. But the responses to the racists by people is actually very funny, because it's like, okay, you're defending a pedophile. Give me a second.
Yeah, have you thought or considered just the amount of gear that people own, from MAGA trucks to MAGA hats to MAGA houses to MAGA dresses? That's all pedophile cult shit now. It's all pedophile memorabilia. That's so much.
Yeah. Candace Taylor owns a Trump merchandise store. So all of that is very pedo-coded. Okay, here is the clip in question.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Have you ever had a personal...
Yeah, and as Donald Trump would say, why would you plead the 5th unless you're guilty? So...
Yeah,
plead the 5th.
No.
Yeah, so this is what I saw first. Ilhan posted it, and then if you go down to the replies...
Be careful.
Yeah, I know. This guy, there's another one, says the one who married their brother. But I mean, like, if you click on that, it's people calling him a pedophile. Are you defending a pedophile? So it is still available. I think that maybe we'll have a little bit of protection because we're not as easy of a target to them. But they are still trying to attack people for calling out Donald Trump's alleged and potential pedophilia. But I mean, they can't spin this. Like, what are they going to say? Like, there's so much evidence now. There's also a video from, I think it was 8 years ago, and this is of Uncle Luke from 2 Live Crew, and he's talking about a party that he went to at Donald Trump's mansion in Palm Beach. This was like in the 90s or something like that, and it was after one of Trump's pageants, because he owned like Miss Teen USA, all these beauty pageants, whatever, and he said that he went there, and it was like a scene from Eyes Wide Shut. And there were people just having sex, doing drugs. And he said, I left because the girls did not look like they were of the appropriate age. And he wouldn't explain anything else. I have a video about this tomorrow. The host was like trying to press him, but he's like, no, that's all, that's all I'll say. So it's getting really bad. Like, if you are still defending Donald Trump, which MAGA is, I've got to say, you're a little bit sussy, right? And I don't think that it's a pedophilia defense is gonna work, because that's pedophilia. Just in case we're not clear about that. And on top of that, I do believe that Trump is trying to look for an off ramp, and he has it potentially in Ghislaine, because they're currently meeting with her, his deputy DOJ.
Yeah, that already happened.
Yeah. So I think that, and if you watch, Majority Report had a great video about this where they talked about the brother of Ghislaine, and he was saying something to the effect of, well, she wants a pardon, and so if she's gonna have
the brother of Ghislaine, what's his name? Splooge Drive.
I don't know.
I just realized is that how you say her name? Because I feel like that's the first time I've thought of like. Are you saying that on purpose? Are you pronouncing it that way on purpose?
No, that's how it's.
Why is that? I don't know why this is the first time I've ever like thought Ghislaine.
Really?
Like I've never
Ghislaine Maxwell.
No, it's a hard Ghislaine. It's kind of more like Ghislaine.
Because even the comments are like noting it. I've just never. Yeah. I don't know the way that you're like. It's fine. Just never.
No, it's you got to emphasize the jizz. That's just how it's pronounced. It's British. I don't make the rules. They don't know.
I think I'm saying Ghislaine. Yeah, no, it is Ghislaine, isn't it?
No, it's just straight up Ghislaine. Ghislaine. Something like that.
Okay.
The British people, they just make shit up. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. So, all right, you want to name someone Ghislaine? Fine. Anyways, so they're trying.
I'm pretty sure.
There's this.
I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure her name is like Ghislaine or something without the jizz. I'm pretty sure.
No, there's literally an S in there. It's Ghislaine. I mean,
like
look, it's a weird name, but that's her name. Her parents are the ones to blame.
Ghislaine.
No, it's Giz.
There's no way to unhear that now. No, I'm just gonna get it every time.
It's Ghislaine, I mean, look, she has a fucked up name. It's ironic that she ended up being a pedophile because that's her name, but still. But like, what was I saying? So there's this idea now that maybe she'll get a plea deal if she perjures herself or pleads the fifth when she's asked about Trump, because she is gonna appear before Congress to testify. So this could be Donald Trump's way of placating the base, where it's like, okay, maybe she gives the tea on Bill Clinton, but she doesn't say anything about Donald Trump. So if he could get Ghislaine to do this, then I think that stop, David. Then I think that the base would be.
I'm just sorry. I'm just like I'm too hung up with the. I'm just thinking like she sounds.
Now
like
I gotta look it up.
She sounds like if Kojima named her, like that's what he would call
Paradigm,
her.
You're right.
Like...
You were correct.
What is it? No, it's literally Ghislaine. It's Ghislaine.
Right.
It's spelled that way, but I think it's pronounced as Ghislaine. Yeah.
No, okay, go to one of the fucking how to pronounce videos. It is Ghislaine, okay?
He's right. Mike's right. I'm wrong.
I sort of got like I looked it up. It's Ghislaine.
Mike, can you stop this inappropriateness? A lady is about to join us. Please.
Oh my god. Yeah, we gotta stop.
I just said her name. That's her fucking name, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Should we bring her in the room? Is she waiting for us?
The name is typically pronounced
Ariana.
a hard G sound, like in gay
I
or
feel like
no.
I always get a like female related shade like at some point. You know what I mean? On this podcast.
No shade on you. I just wanted the gentlemen here to clean their dirty mouths in the presence of a lady.
Your pro-male agenda, Matt Binder, that you
even in leftist spaces.
These damn men's rights activists in here.
Okay, yeah. Ariana, they're saying that I'm mispronouncing Ghislaine's name. It's just Ghislaine, right?
Oh, I always call her Ghislaine. So I have a rule
on
I have a rule whenever I used to stream, because I used to stream a lot, and I pronounce like white people that I don't like that are in politics, I usually pronounce their name wrong, and I do that on purpose because I just don't care. Like Rudy Giuliani is Rudy Giuliani, Ghislaine is Jizzy. Like I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like
you gave her a pet name.
Yeah, but it's not like it's a derogatory pet name.
I don't know.
I don't know anyone that wants to be called Jizzy on their free time. Okay, thank you very much. Actually, it was very clever.
Why can't Mike admit he's wrong? It's weird. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the how to pronounce, and then I will prove to you.
I just did.
Well, I'm gonna play the video. Okay.
Mike's like, I'm gonna play the one that I pick. Thank you very much.
Everybody, it's a bit. Come
Okay,
on,
wait. Let me ask you guys this. How do you pronounce Greta's last name?
Thunberg.
I always say what is
Thunberg.
I thought it was Thunberg for so long because of how Amy Goodman pronounces it, and then I heard her interview her on the Flotilla, and she's like, it's Thunberg, and it's Thunberg, not
All right,
Thunberg.
I thought I was smart there. Sorry.
I know, I did too. I always
one I pulled up.
No, I always thought it was. I actually always thought it was Thunberg, something like, because there's th, right? Thunberg, but it's Thunberg. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Amy Goodman has been calling her Thunberg for so long.
All right, I'm gonna press play. This is how to pronounce it.
Wait, that's how you
for
pronounce
some reason
Amy. That's how you pronounce Amy Goodman's name. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
No, it's Goodman.
Did I say Goodman? Oh, that's my bad. I say you Goodman.
I'm fucking out with you all. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. This is 37 seconds, so they're gonna be like Jizz Lane or something. I don't know why it's so long, but nonetheless.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of British socialite who is known in particular for her association with financier and convicted criminal Jeffrey Epstein. Now the question is on her first name more than anything, which is of French origin. And in French it can be pronounced either Ghislaine or Ghislaine. But in British, as
Thank you.
No, you're cheating. You're cheating.
First of all,
He just said Ghislaine.
I will now be saying Ghislaine Maxwell.
He just said Ghislaine.
He said Ghislaine.
I don't trust anyone that sounds like this guy. All right, this guy is looking for trouble.
I brought the receipts, man.
1.68 million subscribers. Nah.
Yeah, I was like, I love this channel. He teaches me how to pronounce so many things.
Find someone else. I don't trust the guy with that accent. It gives me Pepe Le Pew vibes. No, thank you. Let's get someone else.
All the other ones
Mike
are
needs his
like
ears cleaned.
AI
What?
voices, so at least he has a real voice.
True, it is.
Listen, if the chat, some of them don't agree. If you want to mispronounce her name, that's fine. You could be disrespectful to her. I'm more mature, so I'm going to pronounce her name the way it is. It's just Ghislaine, okay?
How to pronounce with real world examples. Here we go. Wait. Hold on. These people who knew them. All right, here we go.
I'm happy because that's what Jeffrey and Gillen would expect from me.
Jufrey says she was instructed to have sex.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, wait, this person says Ghislaine. Here we go.
We can't trust that person.
Ghislaine. I'm happy because that's what Jeffrey and Gillen would expect from me.
Well, but you can't see the video, so I got to let you know that the person who's calling her Ghislaine.
Who's Jufrey now?
Is Virginia.
So much more confusing. Why am I hearing my voice?
What is? Yeah, our voices are echoing back 1,000 times.
This was not me this time.
The person who calls her Ghislaine is Virginia Guffrey. So she obviously spent, unfortunately, a lot of time with Ghislaine Maxwell. To know how to pronounce her name. But then this person also pronounces it differently. I guess you could just pronounce it 2 different ways. Because we got this person who does say...
Just call her Max. Make it easy.
Yeah. Hold on, here we go.
I'm happy because that's what Jeffrey and Gillen expect from me.
Says she was instructed to...
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine, there we go.
The daughter of the late press baron, who seems to have disappeared from his yacht.
Oh, the story... her father was drowned in the middle of the ocean under weird circumstances. Her father, who worked for Mossad. This whole shit is fucking weird. This whole
I heard that her best friend.
Everyone there. That's right.
Because you guys were talking and I had the system audio.
Oh, okay.
My fault.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Matt. I heard that her best friend had died because he was killed in federal prison too. So all the people she knows are just dropping like flies, and she's the last one left. Maybe it's some kind of a Final Destination type of situation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
but I do
what was
know
the topic?
that don't
What
be
were we
don't be
talking about?
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Don't be surprised though if Ghislaine Maxwell ends up a free person.
Well, yeah, but it
that's
could
where
be
this
even
is
worse.
headed.
By the way. You haven't mentioned the possibility that she could be taking a plea bargain and also come
Nah,
forward and be like, Donald Trump is not on the files. You know,
That
like Donald
street
Trump.
justice is about to go crazy. There's no way.
If they're already, did you see that Newsmax clip where they're already calling the right wing media is already trying to rewrite history and they're calling her a potential Jeffrey Epstein victim?
Oh, they can do whatever they want.
Wow.
I just like if she were to ever walk in the streets of New York, like she's done for. Like that,
She's not gonna walk in the streets of New York. She's insanely
genuinely-
rich. She's gonna be in her own little
I just
world
don't
on
think
some.
street justice would let it happen. Like she would probably have to be in the house.
There's no street justice on a private island in the British Isles or whatever.
I don't think it would.
fucking know.
I don't think it would help this problem. It wouldn't solve the problem for him. Like it would make it even worse. Like they simply wouldn't believe it. Like nobody would believe that she's innocent.
Oh, I disagree.
Why would they be
MAGA
going
wants
to
an
her?
off ramp. MAGA really wants an off
Oh,
ramp.
yeah, I feel like they
this
might.
Obama scandal that Tulsi Gabbard is putting forward right now is an off ramp. That's a nothing.
Yeah.
It's an absolute nothing burger. Every single one of them is like, we're going to arrest Barack Obama. It's coming. Justice is being served. And it's like everyone who takes 2 seconds.
I don't.
on goes,
Yeah, but I don't care about the freaking diehards. Like there's people that are going to be, their minds are gone regardless. Like it doesn't. I don't care about those people. But just this is hurting him generally, as is everything else he is doing. Like it doesn't even. We don't need to get to the. We don't need to flip diehard cultists like that. I don't think that's the goal here, because that's not going to happen.
What is the goal?
The goal is to basically see the list and bully each of them into killing themselves because they're not going to go to jail. So I think that's the goal for like normal people. For MAGA, I think the goal is to see the list and just confirm that it's exclusively Democrats and Donald Trump had nothing to do with anything on Epstein Island. Because I mean, like, listen, on the serious note,
I mean, you saw
Epstein
that
had over
report where-
1,000 victims. Over 1,000 victims.
Yeah.
And when you go back to that sweetheart deal that he got from Alex Acosta, Trump's former labor secretary, it is insane that this even happened. Like, there's a really great video from Legal Eagle where he talks about the specifics of Epstein's abuse and the sweetheart deal. That deal is so insane. The fact that this man was able to get that deal is mind-blowing. He was able to violate house arrest and nobody did anything. The amount of dirt he has to have on powerful people, not just in the United States, but around the world, it's got to be enormous. And the way that people like flip on a dime, like Dan Bongino, like the look on his face when he was like, oh, he killed himself. Yeah, Kash Patel. There's something bigger that we're all missing here that we're not privy to. So we can only speculate. But I think that it's so much bigger than just like US elites and Donald Trump. It's got to be like Republican Party, like major donors, international leaders. It just, I don't know. It feels like if this gets revealed, then the house of cards would come down, or they think it would. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy. Like there's so many conspiracy theorists out there that focus on dumb shit like chemtrails and vaccines. This is like the biggest actual conspiracy where there's so much evidence of wrongdoing. And, it goes so much deeper than I think a lot of us even thought. Because we all knew that Trump was connected to Epstein, but now that people are actually digging, there was stuff already available, like the 2010 testimony. There's pictures that CNN is bringing back to light. It's crazy. And then on top of that, I found out that Steve Bannon is sitting on 15 hours worth of footage of him interviewing Epstein because he was planning a 60-minute style interview that would rehabilitate Jeffrey Epstein's image. It was supposed to be like a comeback tour for Jeffrey Epstein that Jeffrey Epstein himself paid for. Nobody has seen this shit, with the exception of Bob Wolf. And the only other person that saw it was Epstein's brother. But there's a lot. And I don't know, it's crazy as shit. It feels like when I dig into this, I need to put on a tinfoil hat, but like this is a real conspiracy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much a real conspiracy in the sense that like there's conspiring obviously going on in front of our faces. We all can agree on that. There's clearly oh shit, something's here and nobody can figure out why, or distract, do this, do that. What I think is actually happening is you're witnessing what people do when they're backed in a corner. Like, you think of maybe your friend in college who you know did some weird stuff with like one of your friends or whatever, or robbed you or took something from your room or whatever, and you press them
Wait,
for a
what?
little.
What's going on here? This is not a common experience. What? No,
Yeah, I don't know these people.
You've never had anybody in your life who's ever just like played, play you,
or
like right, like or your Yu-Gi-Oh
No, I know what you're
cards.
saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I was
Oh
just
yeah,
joking.
people. Yeah.
Listen, we all knew that guy in college who ran a sex trafficking ring. All right,
Yeah,
that's the normal.
No, yeah.
The weird stuff threw me off. Like what weird? Like what's weird?
Like being weird is what I mean. Like being a weird person. Like, hey, why are you acting that way? In a normal one-to-one situation,
people that you thought were nice were like
right, yeah. In a normal one-to-one situation, you could press them for a little bit, you get some information out of them, blah blah blah. You get your stuff back. You don't associate with them. We don't think of like people on the ground don't think of public officials. People don't think of celebrities as people that when they get backed into a corner, they act like a regular person. We're witnessing a lot of people being implicated in something very huge, and people, a person, I'm going to go back to that Men in Black quote because I did that the last time I was here. A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky animals, and they're already panicking. Trump has a name for them, panikins. Like, they're actually panicking, and you're witnessing like their real selves. Trump is what, 80 now, 79? Like, what do you think a senior citizen involved in what could possibly be the unraveling of the global elite? What is that man actually going to do when asked a question about it? What would you expect him to do? You say, oh, I expect the president to be like, but that's a 79-year-old man. This is them. This is who we elected. This is who we've been fighting. A bunch of scared little animals, little tiny chihuahuas that have been barking for so loud that when you finally catch them in something that they can't just deflect from, that they have to answer for it. And these people are weak, spineless, not good leaders, not powerful. And they realize that their power and grip on the public is slipping. When they realize that, they start saying things that are very weird. Just like that person in the hypothetical I brought up before. They start saying things that you say, wait a minute. If I was a friend of yours and you tried to lie to me like that, that wouldn't work. Why are you as a government official pulling out the guy from 20 years ago lie? And it starts to unravel a lot more in their heads, more about the threads that they've been hearing, more about the attention that they've been focusing on. They start recognizing patterns that look familiar to them in their lives. And that causes this rift where now everyone wants to think, well, okay, so what do we do now? This collapsed. Now what? What are we supposed to do? Not go to work, not pay my bills, not see my friends, not have a family? It's like the people are getting to the what now phase, and they're realizing because of capitalism, there is nothing after that. You just got played by the biggest elite people with the most money in the world, and they laughed in your face. To summarize all of that, I feel like Trump is Negan in this situation. I just slid my dick down your throat, and you thanked me for it. And now people have to sit there with that and say, well, who am I? And you're about to find out. They're all pieces of shit. That's it.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say it's so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Who did I cut off? I feel like I cut someone off. No? Okay, cool. I feel, first of all, it's actually crazy how many people believe in chemtrails. Like, I was astonished. I've met at least 4 people that I thought did not really put the tinfoil hat on for real. And they were like, oh yeah, climate change because the government's causing it with chemtrails. And I was like, oh wow, like you really lost me there. But it's like a random Uber driver, so you can't really, like show like a visceral reaction. You just gotta be like, all right, you know what? At least you believe in climate change. But we'll just end this conversation there.
At least you believe in climate change.
Yeah, like at least you're not like super far down that line.
The bar is very low in America.
Yeah, the bar is deep in Satan's ball sack. But anyways, going beyond that, I think when we're talking about conspiracy, like a conspiracy is something that it's a conspiracy, right? Like it's something that you can't definitively prove. It's something that you believe in due to certain anecdotal factors that you have, noticed. I think with Jeffrey Epstein, we know definitively that he has victims. We know definitively about the island. We know definitively about what he did, not the extent of what he did, but we know what he did. We know definitively that there are some really big people on those flight logs. Now, a lot of them claim that they didn't know that Jeffrey Epstein had anything to do with this, but I think, like, Mike, when you talk about, I feel like I have to put my tinfoil hat on, like, I don't think you do, because at this point, it's beyond a conspiracy, and it's, okay, we know the gist of what happened here. We know the gist of what's going on. It's just the question now is, how deep does it go, and who is actually involved to what capacity? And that's what people are really looking for now. And honestly, Trump is a fucking dumbass, because, like, why would you run on this? Why would you tell a bunch of conspiracy theorist followers of yours that you would release this list? Like, I don't necessarily know what he was thinking. I would like to think he's not that stupid. I don't know. Maybe he thought that his followers were just dumb and they weren't going to follow up.
No, I think he's untouchable. I think he's like, I'm literally the most powerful man in the world. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't be that stupid. Like, it has to be something else. Like, I'm sorry. There's no way he's that. Like, I refuse to believe it. Like, I think Lance, you're right. Like, it might be a part of his narcissism, but because there's no way he didn't know this was gonna, like, fall flat on his face.
He also wasn't the one that really made it a thing. Like, it was people around him that did, and he was asked about it. And you know, you've seen the interviews, like the Fox News interview, where he's like, yeah, I guess, I guess I'd release that. Like, he's very apprehensive about it. Like, he doesn't want to get too into it, as opposed to every other issue. So it's not like he was the one bringing it up, but when asked about it, the fact that it's a big deal for his supporters, he kind of gave in.
He was always very squirrely and
his son
uncomfortable.
certainly was. Donald Trump Jr. was talking about it all the time, every speech, like Turning Point USA rallies. Like, he could have told his son to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, it's, yeah. The reason why I said I wanted to, like, I felt like I needed to put on a tinfoil hat is because, like, the details are so insane that it feels surreal. Like, this is stuff that is from, like, 100 years ago that I'm going over, like reading in a book. But no, it's just so crazy. But yeah.
So I saw the funniest comment. I want to share it now because it made me laugh. Next Jubilee, Mike versus 20 assisted living elders.
Damn. Well, I mean, the question is, are they Nazis? Because then I would take them up. I don't think they should platform Nazis.
I think for you, it doesn't matter. You
just old people. I love old people in real life. I know the meme is funny, but I genuinely love old people. I have a lot of old lady friends, just FYI, many of them.
What do you guys think about that debate that I didn't watch?
I also did not watch it, but I saw the clip and I felt like that was enough.
Yeah, I saw the tease and I'm like, that's good. I'm good.
I have to chime in. I'm so sorry. Speaking of that debate more like, look, I said this with Charlie Kirk. I'm going to say this with Mehdi Hassan. And I don't advocate for anything for anybody, but you can't put me in. You can't. That's the like, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Some people, like, you signed up to be a Nick Fuentes Graper aligned human being. Like, I hang out with the dude because he's cool. Yes, two of those people on that panel were are like friends. Like,
oh, they're actually like friends.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna say their names because that's already
no,
out
don't
there.
Say their names.
These
it was
two
the one that was like, yeah, I'm a fascist.
Yes,
well,
I can tell you who they are. Yeah, that's not
okay.
That's so funny. He used his real name too, because I was like, yeah, no, say your online name. Anyway, I think we've hit a point where I don't give a shit about what they have to say.
Absolutely.
I think I've hit a point, and I'm just gonna take this small. I'm gonna time myself here 2 minutes to just wrap around what I had said the last time I was here when we talked about Project 2025. I speak about things in a very empathetic and poetic way because I feel like every time you get a news head talking to you, it feels like they don't empathize with the struggles that they're giving or that they're explaining to you. Coronavirus is real, mask up, don't go outside, and 6 foot distance. And it's like, okay, you're telling me rules. How do I know, like, am I going to see my family again? Type shit. I said it last time that as these things, these pillars that we look for in society get eroded, you're going to see people have to start standing up for one another. Community-based efforts are going to be your only thing left after all of this. Yo, when I tell you that there should never be a time when I can get 20 self-proclaimed fascists in a room and they all go home healthy. That's not fair.
Yes,
That's not. And people say, oh, but then it's the word and it's the. I'm tired of this back and forth, not 0 to 100 conversation anymore. At this stage, I think all of us in this panel and all of us watching right now, we know what we stand for. We know what the betterment of society means. We know how it is to help one another. There are people out there who just want the opposite. You can't talk them off this ledge. We're all smart. We got smartphones. We can see. We're seeing what's happening in Gaza with our own eyes. You can't play with it. Like, I'm a fascist. Okay.
Yeah.
Words. I'm redacting myself.
You can't intellectually debate like people that don't believe in human rights. Like that's. But like, you know, in this is all Jubilee's fault. Like Mehdi Hassan didn't know he'd be debating fascists. Though you could. You're debating far-right Trump supporters. Like, I guess you could sort of intimate what you're going to be dealing with. But he said if he knew that, he probably wouldn't have done it. But he's still like, I saw like interviews with him afterwards about it. He's still debating like the I get the efficacy or just the need that people may feel that it's important to see this thing out and see what fascism looks like. See these people. I disagree. I don't think these are hateful people. Like there's no meeting them on an intellectual level in a one-on-one conversation. Like it doesn't make any sense. It just humanizes them. It doesn't, there's no need to discuss any of that, which is why I never watched the whole thing. I saw the clips and like, that's enough.
I didn't watch it and think that they're humanized though. Like I think I watched it and I was like, damn, this is fucked. You know what I mean?
Okay, I would.
You
like
did
to
because because you're smart and you know better. Like a lot of people.
No, but I mean, like in general. But if someone, unless you're a moron, if someone tells you that they're a fascist, then they.
How many morons are there though? That's the. There's a lot of fucking morons in this world.
Okay.
Like
can I?
that.
Yeah.
I feel like every time that this is. I mean, I broke this down on the video. Like whenever we've debated like trans rights or things that should not need a debate, it's just led to a society that has become more open to the hate-filled ideas. Like there's no need to give any sort of voice to things that there is no argument to be made. There's no argument to defend genocide. There's no argument to be against trans rights.
I do agree mostly, but I do think, in this particular one, I do think, Mehdi Hassan did a good job of making them look really bad. Like there's unless you're already a fascist, you definitely did not watch that thinking those guys came off looking good.
I would like to piggyback off that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I just say something really quick? I mean, you can piggyback, but then I can get my point.
Nah, hop in.
No, go ahead. If you're gonna piggyback, then hop in.
Okay. You wouldn't. That's the humanizing aspect of it. Is that these people can get the jobs you can't, the acting jobs you can't. People get airtime on a big channel that you can't. I think that we, as streamers, and I want to say as internet personalities, I almost want to go as far as saying TV hosts, but you'll have to believe in yourselves a little bit for that example. I think that we don't think of YouTube videos anymore as like this is a deep look into the mind of a fascist and how, like a timepiece or whatever. We don't look at YouTube videos like that, but there are people that do. We are smart enough to be like, well, you're getting cooked. They're still on Twitter now in their little groups saying, wow, you guys lost really bad. Wow, you guys look, Mehdi Hassan looks really stupid. It gives them room to have a conversation based on new events that happen. All they want to do is stay relevant. They need to be the popular kid at the table. What better place to be the popular kid at the table than I've been on Jubilee. Have you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do think that Jubilee went way too far with this one. Like, there's no way. Mehdi Hassan said it himself.
Jubilee's a shit ass company. They should have been.
But I think this one went way further. Like, I'm not too familiar with them, so I don't know all the ones they've done. but I'm going off the one that they just did with Sam Cedar.
They always give it. They always place like someone's own human dignity versus people who don't want them to exist.
Right.
It's always like one gay guy versus
But this
10.
was supposed to. But this was supposed to be.
He lives the sin and will see the devil.
This,
you know,
this was supposed to be along the lines of the political ones they did, like the Ben Shapiro versus 10 liberal college kids and Sam Cedar versus 10 MAGA conservatives. That's what I thought this was going to be. More like the Sam Cedar one, where, listen, was there that one fascist girl on Sam's one? Yeah, but the other people were pretty much run-of-the-mill conservatives, like Republicans. This one, they just straight up got, like, fascists
Nazis.
who were telling Mehdi Hassan to fucking
Nazis.
leave the country. Like, these were straight up Nazis on this one. Like, they went... I'm assuming they didn't walk into this accidentally. They knew what they were doing. They went too fucking far. This one was ridiculous.
Well, Ariana watched it also, so
I literally thought that Mehdi Hassan was in danger at this one. Like, some of those people looked like they were ready to assault him. Like, the way some of those younger guys were moving behind him. Like, they looked like they had some sort of severe mental issue where they would literally fucking attack him. Like some fascist mental disorder. Like, they looked like they were fucking, like, going to hurt Mehdi Hassan. Like, it was ridiculous.
I watched one interview with him. He was on the Bulwark podcast.
Wait, Ariana, since she had a point after Paradigm.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry guys. Okay. I'm going to give some disclaimers before I make my main point, and I'm going to try to make it as quick and concise as possible. So first of all, I know a lot of leftist creators on Instagram and TikTok who have gone on Jubilee, and they've had very terrible experiences. They were blindsided. They didn't know who they were speaking to. They didn't know what environment they were walking into. In many situations, some of them felt unsafe. So first of all, Jubilee is a very terrible company, and they're obviously monetizing on this, you know, the rise of extremism within our country now, whether that be like, you know, when it comes to trans rights or just general fascism or white supremacy, it all goes under the same umbrella. Do I agree with the way they went about it? No, like absolutely not. I don't think that was okay either. Now, what I'm going to say about this is that you guys know I was born and raised in America, but I lived in Iran for a year. And there are some countries where you simply cannot speak out against the country or the government, or else you will get offed, you will get sent to prison. And the country that I'm from is just simply one of those countries. And so when I came back from living there, I told myself that regardless of how much I don't agree with someone's opinion, I still want to allow them to speak, because once we start talking about who should be able to speak and who shouldn't be able to speak, we start going down this hole of like, what is freedom of speech, and that's a very dangerous place
but I
to
think
go.
you're confusing. You're doing the thing, and I don't mean to say this, but it is what's happening. You're doing that thing that right wingers do when they confuse the First Amendment with protection from government. Like, no one has to give these far right Nazis a platform on a YouTube channel with
Right. I don't agree with the way they went about it. I'm not saying I agree with the way they went about it. Like, absolutely not. But it's just like, would I say that those people shouldn't be allowed to say their opinion? Like, I don't agree with that, because
I don't think anyone's saying that.
No, they can say. Of course, they can say what they want. It's just on a YouTube
they should be
channel.
jailed.
Yeah, no. The issue is that it's on a YouTube channel where it's being platformed. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's and then going beyond that, I generally, once again, I don't think the way it was handled was ethical whatsoever. I don't think someone like Mehdi deserves to get blindsided, and I'm sure Sam Cedar got blindsided too. Literally everyone I know personally that has gone on Jubilee has gotten blindsided. So I obviously do not agree with that whatsoever, or how they went about it. But at the same time, I do think seeing how stupid they are, like in real time, like it did shed a little bit of light. Like, okay, these people are really like, they don't truly, I already knew that, right? But for someone that's like kind of on the fence, I feel like these clips could somewhat help them. Like, call me naive, but I don't know. I feel like it should be done properly, and I feel like it should be done in a more ethical way, and obviously not someone that comes on and just says flat out they're a fascist. Like, I don't agree with the way it was platformed, but I just feel like these conversations should be happening, and not in a jank form either, because then Jank will go on with Marjorie Taylor Greene and he won't challenge her, and he'll talk to her about the Middle East, and like that's literally the last person that should be doing any kind of geopolitical analysis on the Middle East. So it's just like, I think there's ways to go about it, and I think everyone on YouTube is doing it wrong. I just feel like there's a way to do this in a more ethical and proper way, and I just don't think anyone's doing that.
I
think these conversations
have speech. Fascists don't want other people to have free speech. Fascists are just basically an anti-societal philosophy about, you know, upholding the superior race and destroying everything that like is inferior to them. So they're the ones who don't want other people with a platform, which is why they crave platforms, which is I think the problem.
Yeah, there's nothing to discuss with someone who's just like doesn't want equal right. Like, I don't know what you discuss with them. There's no, like, I think what we like, I'm not saying don't pretend they don't like exist. Of course we have to acknowledge their existence, but like make fun of them, like ostracize them, like ensure they have no respect because they don't deserve any respect. Like, don't treat them as equals, I think, is the issue. I hear what you're saying in terms of like there should be a way to discuss it or address it, and I think we do address, I mean, the fascism and fascists, but we don't need to be on their level and have an intellectual debate about it.
So I'm okay. I'll pose this question then to the panel. Would you guys be more okay with how that went down if it was just like run-of-the-mill conservatives and not fascists, like surrounding Mehdi?
I think conservatives, run-of-the-mill conservatives, wouldn't have been so violent in their positioning. I think
of course.
They would have,
like a traditional
like you could like listen. You could have discussions about immigration with people you vehemently disagree with, but when someone is saying "get the fuck out of my country" to you in the way they were saying that to Mehdi, there's no conversation being had there. You're not gonna have them see your point of view. Like, a conversation goes both ways. Like, yeah, I see where you're coming from and your concerns about immigration. I don't agree with them, but, you know, you laid your points out. I laid my points out, and you just said you see why you understand why. And maybe you could find some common ground. Like, maybe we should legally let more people in. There's not going to be any common ground with these guys. These guys fucking want an all-white ethno-state. And they were violently fucking asserting that belief to Mehdi Hasan.
And it apparently got worse, but we don't know the details because Mehdi Hasan was on the Bulwark podcast and he was talking about so he was asked about the one guy who made a comment on Twitter, be like, "Oh, I didn't want to debate him. He smelled or something." Apparently, Mehdi couldn't say what happened, but apparently that wasn't true. And that guy it sounds like he actually did try and debate him, but he was essentially intimating without saying it, because I think contractually he can say it, that the guy was so overtly racist that they wouldn't even put it in the video. So like there were levels to this that we didn't even see, because I'm sure that they were afraid of being demonetized. Like, let's be real, they're doing this for the clicks, and they got the clicks. So if they felt it was going to hurt their ability to monetize the video, then they would take it out.
I mean, I think I'm so sorry, Mike, just really quick. I totally agree with all the points that you guys are making, 100%. I think like once your style of debate panel is far worse than Piers Morgan, like once you make Piers Morgan look like Teletubbies, like you've done fucked up. So I agree with that, like 100%. I just wish I just think YouTube has gotten so saturated where everyone's just trying to get the clicks. And I just wish it was more people thinking about like, how do we foster these more ethical conversations with not extremist people and in safe environments where everyone is, consenting to exactly what environment they're going to go into, rather than having a brown man go around a bunch of people that simply want to kill him and want to off him. So I agree with that.
I think the thing here too is like, listen, if Mehdi Hasan walked out of that being like, yeah, this is what I expected, and I walked in, and this is what this is what I signed up for, and that's what happened. And but he's making it very clear that he was not okay with the people that they put him in the room with. Like, this was not what he had signed up for. This was not what he thought he was walking in. Like, apparently Sam Cedar is one of the people he spoke with before agreeing to do it, and Sam said, yeah, do it. It was, Sam enjoyed the one he did, but Sam's version was much different than Media's. And
so was Jordan Peterson's. Jesus.
Well,
yeah.
Jordan Peterson's was with like 20 friendly college students who debated the merits of faith.
When it's the other way around, you see the difference. Like the idea that, both sides are the same. It's completely ridiculous. One side speaking in reality.
Think about after we saw the Sam Cedar one and we were all like, oh, how crazy was that far right girl? You can't say that for the Medi one because they were all fucking 10 times that girl. Like, there was no one that stood out. They were all insane.
To answer Ariana's question, and to kind of like as we were talking about offline when we were discussing this in our chat, I am sympathetic to your position, Ariana, just because I think that there is a way to bring people over to your side through debate and through talking to them. But I would agree that Jubilee absolutely crossed the line here. If this were just regular conservatives, I would have no issue with it. If it was like the Sam Cedar one, sure. But when you have like actual open Nazis, I think that that's where you straight up you cross the line, because these people, like, it cannot be socially acceptable to be a Nazi. We cannot platform Nazis ever in any capacity because they do not believe in free speech. They want to take free speech away from everybody else. They are a threat violently to everybody else. So, I mean, you have to, by basically platforming these people, Jubilee was normalizing it. It doesn't matter if Mehdi Hassan was effective at debating them, which I'm sure that he was. The fact that they had a seat at the table in and of itself is what I really take issue with. And this goes to a lot of issues with Jubilee in general. If you go through their catalog, they have some pretty fine videos, but then they have, anorexic versus obese people. Then they have, can you spot who's autistic? Extremely fucked up things that add to, social stigmas of marginalized people. And it's just gross because they know what they're doing, but they're choosing clicks and money over the destruction that they're causing to society. And I kind of like agree with Paradigm's point that, like, these people, the fact that they're able to come out and say, yeah, I'm a fascist, and laugh about it, and then they get applauded, like, they have to be afraid to say that in public. Like, it has to be socially unacceptable. Like, getting fired should be the bare minimum. You're lucky if you only get fired. Like, Nazis should get their fucking faces smashed in Minecraft, when they come out as a Nazi.
But see, this goes back to yet again the dynamic of, like, how normal people ingest things. They're not presented with a goal with the content they watch. I really want to hone in on this point because it links into everything. Every single thing that's popped up in the news, from the way Trump's distracted and bringing up these cases, all the way to, like, the lowly racist rantings of a white man who was super popular in the 80s. It's our perception of these, what do you call them? Idolizations? These idols? It's our perception that makes us think that they're better than us. We don't think that these guys are better because we know about them. But, like, the general population of people just sees YouTube content. And the moment you get the footage in 4K, it doesn't matter what your rationale is. You can exit yourself from this conversation, this bubble. You can exit yourself from the left. You will see they have their own media orbit. They have their own comfort spaces. And for lack of a better term, I think me and Lance know even more specifically than most, we've interacted with some of these people. Like, we've interacted with liberals who have gone on to say, like, I think Israel's kind of cool. Like, at some point, I think that there are objective realities that are unfair to challenge. And when you get the footage, when you're in the room, people could take that however they want. They could film their own little clan meetings. They're not going to do that. Maybe they should. Maybe they will. Maybe I just stupidly gave them the suggestion to do that. But the first time it goes up, you're going to be like, that's bad. The second time, it's like, a second episode? Why would they upload? Oh, that's that guy I know, Mehdi Hassan. He's on it now. Wait, why is he on it? And before you know it, you've clicked it and the algorithms pushed it to 10 people you know. out of your hands now. There's so many little tiny factors I think that we as internet personalities don't look at when we're examining cause and effect. Jubilee should have its channel stricken and deleted. You didn't just cross a line, you set up I can't sue if one of these guys gets a larger group of people because of your video displaying them. You're like, there's so many things that play a part in a role in just uploading a video. We used to have to try for airtime with this stuff. You used to have to beg for a primetime 8:30 slot. Pop culture, Love Island is streamable. It still premieres at 8:30. It still goes on at 8:30. Primetime slot. They know people will watch it. They know the little weird bugs on 4chan are going to click the video, clip it out, share it on all their networks with all their bots, just like D-Man and Nick Fuentes. Now look at Nick Fuentes. His friends are going on shows to spread the message. America first, baby. You in their playground. You want to give them more airtime? I personally don't, because this is their playground. They own this space. They own us. They own direction. They own narrative. They stick together. They're weird little. Again, I agree with Mike. Like, honestly, I had 20 of y'all in a room, just like I had Charlie Kirk surrounded by 20 people. I don't know if I would have let him leave after that, but that's on me. That's on me, y'all. I don't know. Just feels really weird that like the Nelk boys interview Benjamin Netanyahu, and every district in the Western Hemisphere has the right by the ICC and the ICJ to arrest him. The Nelk boys could have caught him. Instant fame, and instead
they asked about his McDonald's order instead.
Like, see,
talk about people who need to get their fucking faces punched in a video game in particular, just maybe in a Tekken match. But I mean, what they did there made me so pissed off, because right now, like, there is 600,000 Gazans who have gone like days without food, and they're asking the person perpetrating this genocide what his McDonald's order is. I honestly, I don't even know how to process that information. It's just so evil.
I think that's the worst thing anyone's done with their platform was what the Nelk boys did. Like, he brought on a war criminal onto a show to do propaganda for genocide live in the middle of the genocide. Yeah.
I think what the Nelk boys did was like not comparable to anyone else, because we're talking about someone that has an international warrant against him. Like, we're not talking about a pastor fascist. Like, we're talking about someone that has an ICC international war criminal, like, fucking warrant out for him, and you're just like bringing him in. And he's like, Hamas steals all the food. Hamas is, like the same bullshit they've been parroting for years now. I honestly, if there's anyone that I think should get kicked off of YouTube, it should be the Nelk boys, like, period. Because bringing in a person like Netanyahu, who has an international warrant against him, is absolutely fucking diabolical. But like, beyond what I think, like, that's just insanely wrong. And it should be illegal because he literally has a warrant against him. But also, I do want to say this, after, like, some content creators knew, some content creators don't, but I do think as content creators, we have to be responsible for what we do, what we say, what we platform, obviously. And I just think from now on, if any creator or person goes on Jubilee, like, I'm holding them just as accountable. Because at this point, if you don't know how Jubilee moves, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, a simple YouTube search and looking at their cover photos and their titles on their videos should tell you everything you need to know. And so if you as a creator also choose to go on Jubilee because you're going to get the views or whatever, and you're going to act like you didn't know what the fuck you just signed up for, I think you're just problematic, if not just as problematic as Jubilee. And I think we really need to hold people like accountable, because like, you built a platform that doesn't give you the freedom to just go on somewhere like Jubilee. Not talking about maybe or anything. I'm just talking about like from now on, you know?
Nah, I don't know, man, because it feels like ContraPoints is about to make her debut. I'm just saying, like, it feels like she's been gearing,
that's what the chat's
gearing up for this. Yeah,
on Jubilee.
Yeah, like, it's gonna get.
Did she really go on Jubilee?
No, Jank. Jank is doing everyone.
Oh, Jank is.
Jank is up next. Yeah,
I could definitely see him doing that.
Yeah.
Bad time to say, guys, I have an announcement to make.
He'll talk to Nazis and get a beer with them, maybe.
I'm going on the episode one hat wearer versus 20 anti-hat people.
We're all Nazis.
I was invited on a year ago to it was like I think it was like group debates, like group versus a group to debate against men's rights activists, and I shared the email online, like because it's part of this like reaction to the Mehdi Hassan thing, where I was like, I don't. It's not interesting to me to debate someone who is fundamentally wrong. Like I don't know what I'm like debating. I don't think it's helpful to debate things.
No,
that
I
are
mean,
just,
though
I will say that's different than debating a fascist. Obviously, like let's be clear.
One of the first debates I ever did was against Paul Elam, who was a big, like, the face of men's rights activism back in like the early 2010s. And I debated him. And if you watch this debate, I'm young, inexperienced or whatever, but I knew what I wanted to do going into it. And that was basically, I'm not going to convince these guys to care about women's rights and feminism and stuff like that. But I knew I can show his audience that he doesn't care about them as men. Like he does, like men's rights activism is strictly anti-women. It's just straight up hatred of women, misogyny. But he had an audience that was under, at least some of them were under the belief that this is a guy who actually cared about issues that affect men. And so I went on and I debated him, and he had this prepared speech focusing on the ills of feminism in society, and he came off so bad. And I just constantly said, okay, that's nice and all. So you're a men's rights activist, right? Now, how often do you focus on issues like war and how that disproportionately affects men who get sent off to war or drafted or forced to fight in war? Or at the time, stop and frisk was big in New York City. And I went, I'm looking through your videos, man, and stop and frisk is an issue that predominantly affects men. The police, without any reason, stopping men on the streets and frisking them and assaulting them. And this is happening under Michael Bloomberg, the mayor of New York City. I'm sure you have an audience. And he never had answers for this stuff. In fact, when he finally did come up with an answer, I got him to admit that he didn't care about stop and frisk because it affected Black and Hispanic men. And his issues were, he cared about issues that only affected men as a whole. And his audience, at least some of them in his forum afterwards, were saying how bad he looked for not caring about those issues. Now, I don't know what happened with those guys. I don't know how many of them still were men's rights activists. I'm sure I didn't change any of them just from my debate, but I definitely made some of them question Paul Elam's care for them. And like, you know, I think when
you planted some seeds for sure.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, I think that's where these things can be important or at least effective. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it depends, right? First of all, you have to be, if you're going to go into these predicaments, I think that you have to be somebody who actually knows your shit. And Hassan Piker did a really good job explaining to the dumbass milk boys that, you know, even though he's much more equipped to handle like Netanyahu, for example, he doesn't know if he would have done it because that would have been a red line. I don't know. It just feels like to me, it really depends. I always used to be of the belief that sunlight is the best disinfectant, but like, it hasn't been. Like, things have gotten gradually worse over time, and you have so many open Nazis now and people using slurs, you know, everywhere, and it just feels like society is getting worse. And yeah, I don't know. Like, there's also just this like icky thing about you shouldn't ever have to debate your own humanity. Like, I remember when I first started doing my podcast, I got an invite from Steven Crowder, of all people, who saw one of my videos about trans rights and wanted to bring me on the show. I was assuming for a debate, and I'm like,
wait, you could have went on Steve Crowder? Dude, Sam Cedar would have been so jealous of you. You should have taken up the offer.
I mean, listen, I'm a cis guy, but I'm not going to debate the humanity of my community. Like, I feel like that's not even negotiable to me. I'm not going to make that something that is debatable. It is not debatable. And if you can't even agree on equal rights, I don't even want to talk to you. I'm not going to defend it because I don't want to float the idea that this is something that's debatable. You know what I mean?
With someone like with someone like that, though, it's the opposite of what we're talking about with Jubilee, right? Like those Nazis on Jubilee were the nobodies here, right? I think if you have an opportunity to be platformed by these guys, by someone on the right with a very large audience, I say you take it. There's no law that says you must argue those topics of conversation. You go on the show and you bring the conversation elsewhere.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, as a matter of
Bring on
fact,
Sam Cedar
before
as
we
a
get into
secret
that,
move.
like, not before we get it, but like saying that, like, hey, wait, I know you want to talk about this, but didn't you get paid by Russia? Like,
Right.
I'm throwing questions
Something like
at
that,
you.
right.
Make you panic. Oh, put you in a corner. Let's see what you're really like under
No, that's
pressure.
fair. You have to be quick on your toes too. But I mean, it's just like for me, it's just like exhausting. I don't want to talk to these people. Like this is, I think, the safest way to do it. And it depends. Like, it's not going to be super viral because it's less sensational. But if you like see somebody who is saying something using dehumanizing language about trans people or whatever, like you watch the video and you play it back, you deny them the ability to respond in the same way they deny, you know, the people they're demonizing the ability to respond. You know, you don't humanize them. You respond to a video and then you click pause and shut them the fuck up. I don't know. I just feel like it goes back to me not wanting to give them a seat at the table. Like, I feel like we have to dehumanize these people. Like, that's probably not the best phrasing, but like if you're a transphobe, if you support genocide explicitly, so like fuck you. You shouldn't be allowed to talk to people as if you're intellectual equals with them. Like, you're a piece of shit.
I think the best way to do that sometimes is they dehumanize themselves with how they act. Like, again, watching that episode of Jubilee with Mehdi Hassan, they come off unhinged. They come off so bad that they can't even have a conversation with Mehdi Hassan, that they're just fucking yelling at him to get out of the country and saying he shouldn't be here, and just fucking saying quoting neo-Nazis and shit. They are I think that's even better than if you say
That's
something,
you, right? Like
that
you are
dehumanizes
also
them.
on the other side of that. Like, you know, that
Yeah,
video
they
that
all-
David did have a very good point.
I'm sorry,
like,
I do think
you have essentially become a meme, and you can control the point in time and how that's going to be used by other sides. Like, there's an entire world on the internet that is sharing those clips, being like,
Nah, but
Mehdi
that world,
and they were
destroyed.
taking a victory lap.
You believe what happened? He's this boy.
But
they were sharing
let
like,
them-
hey, here's my debate of Mehdi Hassan, and they're all like, yeah, you clapped him.
Let them take that victory lap. Their world,
I agree,
their world is the one that's small and insular. I'm sorry, I
have to disagree. My sister works for the Department of Homeland Security, and the Homeland Security just posted effectively the 14 words.
No, but no,
That's
like,
right.
I don't
That is
because the Department of
and two capital H's.
Yeah, but we're not
conspicuously.
talking about the Department of, like, we're talking about a whole
you
different
guys,
thing right now.
you guys are talking about some like federal government that's not there
That's
anymore.
so different.
The federal government.
You see,
federal
they're
government-
a small group right now. Fascists are in fucking power in the United States.
Well,
Like,
Yeah, they're winning. They're instituting like the white ethno state as we speak.
No, okay, wait,
Just
but isn't the first way to fall out of that kind of thought process through like education and seeing different conversations and stuff like that? Like,
Linda
I don't
McMahon is
like
the Secretary of Education.
Hold on. Y'all, we are losing. I don't care about what the government department does. Like, that's literally not our point right now. Our point is that we are losing young men by the droves to conservatism and to the right-wing politics. And we're talking about Gen Z, who was deemed as very, very, very left just very recently. And they're switching like by the droves. The DNC spent $20 million trying to bring back more young men, and they failed miserably.
Because of how they're spending the money. I think it's a failure of the Democratic Party as opposed to like.
But listen, I do want to touch on that.
My only point, real quick, sorry. My only point is that the DNC sees this as a big problem, right? We see that it's a big problem. I see it amongst my friends who try to date all the fucking time. All the men are covert incels. Like, I'm not even making this up. And I totally agree with Matt. I think that these conversations help people, at least the people who are on the fence or the people who are kind of falling into it. Like, it plants those seeds. And if someone like Mike does not feel like, Mike, I'm just like you couldn't pay me enough to do this, right? Like I get exhausted, I can't do it, I'm not going to debate my humanity. I'm on your side when you say that, but I also do think like when we plant these seeds, it does make a difference, like even if it's small. And whatever they want to talk about, like, whatever the far right that we've lost, whatever they want to do in their ether on their subreddits and shit, they're going to do regardless. It doesn't matter about these clips. We're talking about the generation that we're fucking losing right now because they're just not educated. They're not hearing anything different than what their own tunnel is saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just to go back to the Department of Homeland Security point, even though I do think you're looking at it wrong. The Department of Homeland Security is not posting white supremacist social media posts because the message is spreading and people are being transformed to the white supremacists. The Department of Homeland Security is posting that stuff because that small insular group I'm talking about literally took over the Department of Homeland Security. Like their numbers aren't growing gigantically.
They
got power. The small group got power. Yes. But I'm sorry. Listen, we could talk about how the American people are uneducated and how whatever they vote against their own interests, whatever. I agree with a lot of that stuff. But what I don't agree is that the majority of this country are fucking in bed with neo-Nazis.
I agree.
Oh,
yeah, no,
they're just not.
Yeah, no.
So what I'm saying is that shit is repulsive to the vast majority of people. And
they're just loud.
I think if a regular person,
I don't agree with that because they're not in bed with me.
A normie watches that Mehdi Hassan interview, they think those guys Mehdi Hassan sat down with were insane.
But like they're not in bed with neo-Nazis explicitly, but Americans are stupid and evil enough to get warmed up to neo-Nazi and fascist rhetoric. I mean, they just voted for mass deportation.
People are
Donald
generally
Trump.
more racist than I think anyone realizes
Yeah.
society-wide. You say that for Canada too.
It's
Canada's
smart.
a very racist country, and people don't think about it because it's supposed to be progressive. But it's like if I sit down and talk to anyone about Indigenous issues for very long, the most normies who are like, "Oh, I drive a Tesla. I'm not racist." They will start saying racist things, and they're not overtly just trying to do it because they're like, they praise Hitler. It's just like this is a lot of normalized racism that most people haven't unpacked at all or even thought about.
Right, and I think that to piggyback off of that, I think that they wouldn't necessarily they would be turned off overtly by fascism. Like I think that most Americans would see that guy saying he's a fascist and they'd be like, ugh. But if he were to hide the ball, if he were to dog whistle, he could probably get Americans to agree with the white ethno-state in certain ways because Americans are fucking stupid and inherently racist because that's like embedded in our institutions, right? So I think that's why I'm always hesitant about who to platform and who not to platform, just because Americans, they don't have the media literacy to be able to suss out who is and isn't fascist, right? So if somebody says, yes, I'm a Nazi, they'll be turned off. But if they describe themselves as a Nazi without using the word, if they can prime people to think about Nazi ideas without you saying Nazi, then I think that Americans could fall for it. I mean, they just, again, they voted for mass deportation, and that's something that I can't get out of my head because it's the most evil policy ever. And it's not that they're surprised that it's evil. It's as evil as they expected, but they wanted the evilness. And if you talk to people like my family members, they love it. They love mass deportation.
I don't know.
They don't even care about losing Medicaid. Like one of my siblings voted for Trump, gonna get fucked over with the Medicaid cuts. Doesn't even matter.
You talk to a lot of these people, though, and they stress the idea that, we thought Trump was only going to deport criminals. That's a major point of contention within those crowds. Yes, there are the people you're talking about who just are fucking vile human beings, if you could even call them that. But when you talk to, I would say, most normies who ended up voting for Trump because they had to pick between two, and that's usually what they say. And and Trump was talking about the issues that spoke to them or whatever. They say that Trump would constantly said he would deport criminals. And then you talk to them when their neighbor or their coworker is getting deported and they sound upset about it.
Or their wife in some
or
cases.
Their wife. In that case, that was one of those hardcore MAGA guys who were like, it's all right, she's being deported. I trust Trump.
I saw one of those. But like it's so unfortunate that that's what it takes a personal experience, and this is like this has been going on forever. Like a lot of people are just wired a certain way where they don't understand an issue until it personally impacts them. Like they cannot empathize unless it's like a direct family member that's being impacted. It's so frustrating, but that's unfortunately the situation.
It's that famous poem, first they came for my wife and I did not speak out.
No, I honestly think this is a problem. Like, as a person who has lived in a different country that operates completely opposite from how America operates, I genuinely think that places like America and Canada, we have hyper individualism, hyper capitalism. We are very solo dolo. Like, most of the time you don't even know your neighbors. Like, I literally moved into this apartment in New York, and it's the first time I'm actually interacting with my neighbors and I'm talking to them, and they're knocking on my door for like dryer sheets or salt. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't experienced this in like 20 years. You know what I mean? And so I just think in America specifically, we are so wired to be selfish, to be individualistic, to only care about ourselves and our own bread, that it's just kind of translated into like the whole entire Western society, more specifically Canada and America, just kind of operating in this extremely individualistic way that does not exist in places like Japan or Mexico or quite literally any other country that is more homogenous and not so individualistic, because we are truly some of the only societies that are this individualistic. Any other country you go to, you see the community, you see the people, you see the interactions. Like, we just don't have that here. And that's a part of the problem. That's why we've gone into this hole, because we're so individualistic and all we care about is ourselves. It's like, okay, if Trump's policies don't impact me, then fine, I'm okay with it. I didn't think he was going to go that far. I'm a citizen, so I'm good. You know what I mean? That's our problem. That's literally the problem.
No, that's a fantastic point. Because it's easier to divide if you never were connected with people in the first place. So yeah, the lack of community is a huge thing in this country. Yeah, great point.
I think part of it is like how we're raised too. Like I was raised to be like so terrified of strangers.
Same.
Like don't talk to anybody, and then like you wonder why I have social anxiety. It's like Jesus Christ, like.
Yeah, I remember my mom would watch like these like news reports about kidnappings, and like the fear of God was into me about, oh my God, I'm gonna get kidnapped. Like,
local news has done a real number on people's minds over
it.
Decades.
Honestly has poisoned the brains of so many boomers. Unfortunately, not all of them, but like individuals who aren't as online savvy, like my mom. Like she's gotten more social media savvy, but for the most part, like, I'll go over there and she'll have the like the local media on, and I said this like a year or so ago about like I was there at Thanksgiving and they were doing this story about anthrax, I think, that was found in the mail. They hyped it up, and then finally when they talked about the anthrax, it wasn't anthrax. It was like baking soda or whatever, and completely innocuous. And like they are trying to scare the fuck out of people because that's what gets you like the views. And yeah, you have them coming back. It's like a addiction. What do I be afraid of today? Mad cow disease, fucking anthrax. I don't know.
But they'll always end on a happy note with the squirrel riding the water skis and like
yeah.
It's all so it makes you feel good at the end, so you come back the next day to be afraid again.
Right.
It really is like a disgusting science.
Just frying our brain, bro. Like they're literally ambulance chasers.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I beg this question because this question is going to come up probably in the chat at some point. So you've noticed that there's a pattern. There's this media cycle that seems to repeat with like, everything is really bad. And we say it's poison the boomers, and effectively that would be my father. I do remember growing up and accidentally trying to get King of the Hill and instead getting the 10 o'clock news, and it would start out with this famous phrase, "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?" And I used to think that was weird because I would say to myself, I'm right here. I'm watching the show. Like I'm watching the TV. Like how would it what? And it would make me, this is 8-9 years old. It would make me want to put on a videotape. It would make me want to put on like I had recorded Three Stooges marathon. I would always put that on to go to sleep, or I had a Tweety. I had a Looney Tunes video, and I would watch the reruns over and over again. I grew up, and I got on the internet, and one of the first sites that I browsed was 4chan. And one of the things that I would do on 4chan is go with a group of people and hype someone up to go knock over a postcard stand down at 42nd Street, Times Square. It was on an IRC. I forget how you pronounce it, but anyway, it was on a relay camera, so you could see what was happening in live time. This was before streaming was a thing. You just get into the feed. We try to get somebody to knock it down at a specific time in a specific place, so we could all get a picture of it and call it cool. It got so bad that not only did more police start showing up in that area, but they shut down that guy's shop, and they started shutting down shops all across Times Square. As I started spending time on the internet, I started learning that there was more power that could be welded by internet people who wanted a specific goal to be achieved. I never thought about swatting someone or getting to that level of dangerousness, but I knew it existed. But I was already a person on the internet at that time, so I wasn't going to partake in any of that. I just only talk about my experience and how I got out of that. Now we're in the 2020s, and we're saying that this insular group of people has a little bit of power in the government insofar as to make certain posts, certain allegories. We've had Elon Musk throw up a Nazi salute. We've had Steve Bannon do it. These are the people who are in Trump's ear. These are the people in cabinet's ear. I don't even want to get on the topic of Stephen Miller. That's enemy number one. I feel like he's the real architect of a lot of this. Mm-hmm. You say you want more education. You want these conversations to be out and more open. You want these things. But I've lived for 31 years and I've seen this cycle repeat itself where the aftermath of whatever you think you're defeating morphs and attaches itself to a new host, a new group of people with no ideas and no idea what the world is like. At what point do you cross your Rubicon is my question. At what point do you cross the point of no return? Because for me, I've always lived across my Rubicon. I feel like when we say we want to give this conversation space, we want to give these spaces like air, or that they have to have it because it leads to a slippery slope. It only feels like we're reinforcing that there will be people who hate you and you have to listen to them. There will be people who don't like you and you have to give them breathing room. And at this point in time, I don't think anyone can get on the internet and lie to themselves that that ideology or anything surrounding entertaining that could be good. So the fact that it exists means that I lost that fight. And the fact that we trying to figure out a way to keep it going, we don't have that much time. They're talking about a Trump third term. If we lock in and get to that point where that's a part of a conversation, who's debating that? Why are we having that debate? That's crazy. We shouldn't have that debate. But we normalized everything else because we said we need the airtime. I think it's just rational at this point to skip past that. I think it's rational because we've seen where it goes and we have too much influence in the world. We've got too many mercenaries around the world. We've got too many nuclear weapons pointed at everyone's neck to really say we're confident enough that we can beat this in the marketplace of ideals. Because if you could, we wouldn't have ever had a channel like Jubilee have this conversation in the first place. That's my understanding of that. So my question throughout all of that, I will repeat again, is what is your Rubicon? And have we crossed it yet?
Wait, what do you mean?
A Rubicon is a
like
small river.
Did.
The small river that's the easiest thing now. I'm taking that example from a YouTuber by the name of Innuendo Studios. He made a video called South of the Rubicon, and I'm taking that example, even though I've heard it before. Basically, it's what is the point when you say, oh, that's a step too far. They've crossed the river. They're on my turf now. If you can keep saying they haven't, like, if you can keep saying the world around you hasn't crossed that Rubicon, I generally feel like you are safer than you think you are. Because that Rubicon's been crossed for me so many times. And that's just from me being here for 5 years. I don't even want to launch into the life story. But that's just
I
my
think it's
take on it.
possible. Like, if you characterize like crossing the Rubicon as the point of no return, I think you can say we crossed it with Trump's last election. You could say that we crossed it in like the standpoint of climate change. Like, are we able to reverse it at this point, or at least stop it from being irreversible? So for me, I've kind of like adapted my mentality to survive in a climate where it's hard to not be doomer, to just think like, okay, we're probably fucked, but we should still fight for things to be not as bad, despite being fucked. Maybe we could just like have terrible lives, but not like super terrible lives.
That's why I think we should go like balls to the wall with certain things. Like us being here. This is a production. People would scream for this amount of airtime, and every second that we get for I want to say for free is like awesome. This is where this fostering growth against this cancer can start. But will we take ourselves that seriously with every word we say? Will we start scripting ourselves, doing the YouTube video edits here? We could.
Yeah.
We could make a show out of it. Wait, this is a show. Wait, I'm on a show. Oh God, I'm on a show. I'm in a box. I'm in the box. Okay, we're not getting the joke. Brady Bunch, we're in a box. It's a TV show.
I for one refuse to take myself seriously. So that's unfortunately one thing I can't do.
My thing is like our audience is, and chat across all chats, please respond, because I'm looking at all of the live feed. I can see all of your chats. We all can. I think people who watch the leftist media are pretty leftist. I would be very surprised if we get more than a dozen people that say they're conservative or they're like in the middle. And I just think a channel like Jubilee can reach people who are not leftist and more, because like, yeah, having this conversation is nice and people listen and people engage with it. But it's like we are also talking into our leftist echo chamber. And I think the point that Matt and I were trying to make is that, you know, when people go into now, I think Jubilee is a terrible fucking example of it. I don't think any channel is doing it in an ethical way, but let's say like we make up like an ethical channel that does it in an ethical way. I do think that that does foster more conversations when it's not a fascist, it's a run-of-the-mill conservative that just doesn't make any sense. The logic is not logicking, and then someone like Matt can go in and like plant those seeds where it's like, hey, this logic doesn't make sense, right? And I just don't think that comparing a conversation like this is who's all leftist on this panel, who's most of chat is all leftist, to something like Jubilee, who has a huge platform that goes across an array of different political viewpoints.
We could make that happen. I don't see anything but just we don't have the numbers right now. We can make that happen. We can make anything happen.
Something like Jubilee.
We've raised money before. I know people in the film industry who could probably take a nice big pay cut. I know a couple sponsors. I actually know that if the CEO of this platform wanted to get his head out of his ass really quickly and get himself out of hot water, he could also help out instead of funding another show, which is not giving him a return, which he keeps complaining about, but keeps funding it. Like, we could do things. We could ask questions. We can demand things. We can unionize. We can do a lot, you know? I just don't think that the answer is wait for the channel to appear. I think that like this could be it. The budget is irrelevant if the content is good. People with shitty webcams get millions of views. My camera fogging up right now. Like
Matt Binders is not even working. David left.
Like it's just fun. It's just, hey, it's the same thing, but now it's a group of leftists trying to figure out, well, where's the core for us? Where do we put our flag?
I agree with Ariana's point. This what we're doing here is more entertainment and therapy, and I think great for helping people who are looking for something like they like us and they want to hear a conversation versus are we converting people? The answer, we're not converting people with the leftist mafia in terms of a show, right? But I also don't run this show thinking welcome to the conversion station, welcome in all the right wingers, right? Like different entertainment has different purposes. It's like there's a lot of channels that bring people in to the far right, and they usually start out with men's rights stuff, but they can also be pop culture channels like The Quartering, Geeks and Gamers, Nerd, Yellowfash. All of that stuff pulls people in who might not be looking for misogynistic content, red pill content, all that kind of stuff, but all of a sudden they're watching people who are talking about their favorite movies and video games, which is really appealing to men, and they're getting indoctrinated into far right stuff. I think like an answer to that would be there should be more, or at least the promotion of more content creators who talk about non-political stuff but also already have in their heads leftist politics, right? Like you don't need to be like, all right, so here's the Marxist analysis of the new Superman movie. You can be the new Superman movie is a really inspiring film because ... right?
The new Superman movie is really good, actually. It's really
that's
fucking
crazy.
good.
Lance,
Are we
that's
gonna talk about
crazy
Superman
because
now?
I could swear if we pull up the last time I was here, we got to that conclusion. I was like, yeah, there should be just a focus on like, I think,
it all goes in
I
circles.
honestly think that some of you guys are better than what's out there. That's it.
I appreciate
I
that.
could cut Jubilee's audience reach in half and just funnel them directly to you. Like I'm just placing them on top of you. I would trust you with the next generation of entertainment, maybe with a twist, maybe with a spin. Maybe you drop politics altogether, but you're not going to slip up and say, I hate gay people. I can trust you with 250,000 people because
Maybe
I know
you
that no
won't.
matter where that conversation goes, maybe you won't.
I gotta tell you,
It's true, right?
dropping politics altogether—that's the dream right there, man. I would
Like, yeah,
love
you
to
see,
never
like,
talk about this
I
shit
just
again.
want people in positions of power
all day.
with
It's
an
like video
audience that big. If you like, Jubilee
the
reaches
goon.
everybody. There's Corey Kenshin gets into politics because YouTube strikes him because he's black. Like it's gonna come up. I want people that are prepared. That Corey Kenshin hits up Matt and Lance. I don't know much about this, but I know those two guys down there. I could bring them on and have them on. Those connections. We just have to ask. We just have to be good enough. We just have to be there. And I think we're there. That's all.
So here's the thing. There's a reason why almost all of YouTube is dominated by Republicans. And I know we all on this panel have seen that report where it's like all red bubbles, and there's like 3 fucking blue bubbles. One of them is, Sam Cedar, the other one's Hassan, and then the 4 other are all TYT networks, which TYT is even questionable if it's left leaning at this point, huh?
I was like, and the Humanist Report for some reason.
And the Humanist Report.
The Humanist Report was there. The Humanist Report was on there.
So the thing is,
no, I'm just glazing.
Here's the thing, and here's the problem. I had a client who I did social media for, who's really big on Twitter, and for a year, his name is Tristan Snell.
Oh, I didn't know you were actually going to tell us. Oh, let me look this person up.
Yeah, you can if you want. I do social media for him. It's not a secret. But
oh, I've seen this guy before.
Yeah, I run his social media sometimes.
Nice.
So
cool.
Not just him, but I know very influential people like him who spent a year, and their only job, like what they did for a whole entire year, was trying to go to people and court them to fund a leftist channel on YouTube. That was their whole thing. Was they went to people who had money, who were left leaning, who were Democrat, and they were like, we need the funding, we need the seed funding. No one gave money. Like not a single one. There were a couple where they got to like the last stages and then they immediately pulled out. You know why? Because people on the left do not believe in investing into media the same way that the Republicans do. And so that's why when I talk about, do we have the funding? Do we have the backing? When we're talking about someone like Hassan Piker had jank. Like Hassan Piker, yes, he worked hard, but like he had the leg up to start off. Like any leftist channel that you saw on that research graphic, they all had a leg up. They all had some sort of a start. That's the problem with left leaning. That's just the problem with the left, period. Like we do not believe in the way that we believe in investing in our creators is, hey, this bill is about to pass tomorrow. Can you make a video about this today and get some signatures for this petition? We can't keep trying to put out fires. We have to do the long game. And we just don't do that. And I've seen this firsthand where it's like people just don't believe in investing in us. People don't believe in nurturing and garnering that kind of stuff. And anyone that does leftist news, we don't do it for the fucking money. I didn't get paid for 2 years when I was first a leftist content creator. I had to move back into my dad's house. I was like broke. I ran through 3 credit cards. My dad was like,
for
"Dude,
yourself, Ariana.
My
I
dad
saw
was like,
how
"You're
much
26.
money.
What the fuck are you doing?" I'm just
I
saying.
saw how much money leftist
that's a
creators
good
were
point.
making, and I was like, "That's the dream right there."
No, my dad legitimately for every single day for a month, he was like, "What is your plan for the future?" And I was like, "Honestly, your guess is as best as mine. Like, I'm pretty deep in this hole." So it's just like, that's the thing. When you are a leftist and when you do leftist content, you do it out of love. When you're a Republican and you do Republican content, there's a lot of money there. Like, they invest. That's our problem.
I mean, that $50 million contract that Steven Crowder rejected from the Daily Wire because he felt like it wasn't fair, that gives you an indication of the differences between the games and like the playing fields and how not level they are. Like, I can promise you,
Shadow Legend like emails anymore.
yeah, right.
$50 million.
Like, yeah, listen, we make like Steven Crowder, the 50 million was crazy. We make like around 25 million each per year, but like nothing like, I'm just kidding, obviously. No, just
I just want to say something about Midas Touch. Someone talked about Midas Touch. I'm so glad you brought up Midas Touch. So one of the founders of Midas Touch was Colin Kaepernick's attorney and was the one that won Colin Kaepernick's case. And
I didn't know that.
Jump started Midas Touch with that money. So that man was an attorney his whole entire life. He got so much money out of the Colin Kaepernick lawsuit that he created Midas Touch. So yeah, they didn't start from scratch either. That's the thing. Everyone has this idea that these left channels all come from, oh, they all did it from scratch. No, they didn't. They all had funding from somewhere. And that's the thing that people just don't get.
The big ones, at least, yeah.
Yeah, the big ones, the successful ones. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was joking about the 25 million, by the way.
So
if I made a single million, I'd be like fucking so stoked. Like just one. Like that'd change my life.
You have to post that viral video.
I've been trying. Just nothing will go viral. Nothing will
It's
stick.
7:38 and David Dole has left us. We should
Yes.
Oh, he just walked out. He just left. He just chipped.
He put a message in the chat saying, he types, "Fuck off. I hate you all. I'm not coming back." No, I'm just kidding. He just said he's out. No, of course not. No, David would never.
I don't know, man. He could have been joking.
So we're gonna get to super chats, but before we do, Paradigm, you are free to stay as long as you want while we do super chats. Some guests do, some guests don't. But before we get to that, can you tell us where to find your work, what you do, and whatnot, so everybody can follow you?
Yeah. Usually I have an outro for this. It's super energetic. I think I'm gonna stay because the chat seems to want me to stay. I just want to put this in a way that I work off of empathy. I don't believe that anybody doesn't. I've taught for 15 years. I've seen every growth of every type of kid, from spoiled white all the way down to like their mother grabbing them by the neck in the middle of class, black. I don't want anyone to take away from this conversation. If what I say sounds confusing, if what I say seems like it's bopping off from point to point, it's because I understand that people don't have a background as rich as some others do when it comes to people. So if you ever want clarification, just know that my end goal is, I do not think it is impossible for the layman to usurp power. I do not think that anybody who has the ability to get on, especially the internet today, and speak into a microphone with confidence and conviction about what they believe, what they like, what they do, I don't think anybody, I've seen it all the time. You know, it's the grand story of the streamer with 0 views who went on to dominate. I do not believe that not one of us on this panel has the ability to be that person. But from where I'm coming from, I'm that person. Twitch.tv/the_paradigm_shift. Please let Twitch know to give me back my username. I hate the underscores. I do politics, poetry, art, music, gaming, coding, modding, and a whole host of other things, including 2 stories and 2 ARGs that blend into my seasons programming here on the 105.1 FM. I also am launching the world's first live action manga in a few weeks. I hope that you'll be there to check it out. YouTube.com/C/The Paradigm Shift.
What is that?
Twitter.com/Marquis.
Explain that. Don't just.
Oh,
don't
I know.
be so
I
vague
need more
about it. What is that?
It's. Can I share my screen? Hold on. I'll just show you. I'll just show you a piece of it.
If not, you could drop a link and I can share it, but it might let you share it.
Yeah, I have 2. I have the first 2 pages here, and I have chapter 6 here. Let's do this. Share slides and PDFs. Your computer?
Share screen.
Okay, yeah, let's make it easy on us. Share screen. Application window, share. Can you see it?
Yeah. So
these
wait,
are
did
all
you paint
real?
this?
No, these are all real pictures that are digitized and then recreated in a manga style. All art lines. I mean, if you zoom in, you can start to see how deep the line work goes.
I see what you're saying.
No kidding.
And out words. And then everybody who's in the manga is an actual live picture that's taken that's also redrawn.
What? That's so cool. What a cool idea.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. We'll check that
Interesting.
out. Very cool.
Yeah, and everywhere else, just the paradigm shift. I like to have fun. I like to drive my cars on the highway and no hezzy. Don't do it in real life, kids. Drive safe.
All right. So who wants to read their super chats first?
If no one's gonna step up, I will, because I don't have a lot. So.
I don't know where to go.
Feel free.
Yeah, I don't have a lot either.
Oh, start.
Okay.
Duh.
You wanna go first, Ariana? I'll go after you.
Yeah, I have like 5. Looney Tunes, thank you so much for the $2.
Hang on 1 second. Let me try to catch up with you. Looney Tunes, how much?
$2, like $1.99.
$2. Oh, here we go. Super sticker.
Super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for being the best mod. JCass, number 3 King. Thank you so much for being such a great supporter. Next, Jubilee Mike versus 20 assisted living elders. Honestly,
how dare you?
I would watch that.
That was a great one.
Lizzie Bennett. Oh my God, the number 1. Welcome. I just watched the newest episode of South Park. It's the funniest thing I've seen in years. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen
we
that,
didn't even talk about that.
please go watch it. It's insane.
I will say. I will say.
Was it too much for you?
The humor a little bit dated for me. I've seen South Park do that stuff for decades.
I can agree with that. I think it's just the surrounding story on it makes it feel like it's very.
Yes, I will give them absolutely credit for. I mean, what a thing to do to fucking sign a $1 billion deal with Paramount, and then fucking just days later put this out. That takes.
Yeah, true.
That contract is probably fucking ironclad. They wrote that contract with carve-outs, knowing they were going to do this without a doubt. I would love to see Paramount try to wiggle out of this, and then Matt and Trey are probably going to have a fucking field day with any lawsuits if they tried.
Yeah, it was funny. I do think it was recycled humor, but humor nonetheless. Lizzie Bennett. Oh yeah, Lizzie Bennett again. Thank you so much for the $10. This super chat queue is for anyone that can answer. Are there any Japanese political YouTubers Leftist Mafia can invite to bring some insight on the rise of right wing in Japan, like the Sanseito Party? I didn't know that was a thing.
That dude. Oh my God, I forgot his name. Hold on.
I don't know off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Do we know any like Asian creators maybe that could talk about it? Because sometimes Middle Eastern creators will talk about different regions of the Middle East. Chat, do you guys know anyone?
Yeah. Any recommendations from chat? Because Japanese politics
Sounds
are
like
actually very fascinating.
it sounds like we're using the slang chat and not like, actually asking our chat. You were like chat.
Wait, there's a
I'm
slang?
tired. I'm off my own world.
Wait, there's a slang called chat?
No,
Yeah,
like
like,
sometimes
that
people will be
isn't-
like, they'll tweet, "Chat, is this real?" Like as a joke about like something on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'll see that.
Right.
I feel like it's millennial humor of millennials trying to be Zoomers. I'm not
Mm,
sure. I could be wrong.
I think so. It's giving Hakeem Jeffries humor. You know what I mean?
It's I've never used it in my defense.
I mean, there's that new it's not, I don't know if it's how new it is now, but that song featuring Kendrick Lamar by SZA.
Yeah.
Where they say chat over and over again in it. That's like they're not actually in a live stream talking. Like they're using it as slang.
Maybe they were. I mean, T-Pain records his songs. We rated him when he was
Oh
making
my
a
god,
song.
T-Pain is like such old news. I forgot T-Pain even existed.
Oh my god, Ariana.
Or, wait,
I'm
y'all
so
listen
offended.
to T-Pain?
I don't listen to T-Pain.
Listen. I am a T-Pain dick rider. He was
Oh.
like, I saw him in person. I love T-Pain. T-Pain. I mean, I'm a millennial. He's like peak millennial shit. But yeah, I love T-Pain.
I mean, I feel like millennial shit is like Britney Spears, not T-Pain. Like T-Pain. I mean, Britney Spears did fall, but she did go through all that. Okay, you know what? We're going on tangents. Anyways.
If I'm like drunk and want to sashay around the house, maybe I'll listen to Britney Spears. But like my normal sober self just wants like I like the 2000s R&B stuff like that.
Okay.
Hip hop from the
you.
2000s.
Mike, I want you. I want to see you sashay around the house.
No, you will never
I
see
would pay
that.
for that.
I have to be very drunk. The drunker I get, the more like I act like an F slur.
Oh my god, Ariana is okay with Nazi free speech, but shits on T-Pain. Hold on.
I'm gonna need a defense of that right
Oh god.
now.
This is what they do, Ariana. This
right
is how
now.
they say that I like to beat up old people.
Now I gotta hold somebody
get out of
accountable. That's
me.
crazy.
Y'all, I just honestly, like, I pray y'all don't live in a country where you don't have free speech. That's all I'm gonna say, because it's not fun. It's not fucking fun at all. And all of us on this fucking podcast would be put in jail. So that's my whole entire point. That's all I'm trying to say. As much as I don't, this may be my most Republican take. Like, as
It
much
still
as I
could
don't,
happen, Ariana.
yeah, it still could happen 100%, which is when the limitations of freedom of speech happen. So I'm a full-blown First Amendment girly. Like, I will stand by the First Amendment till the day I die. Like, I want to talk my shit. I want to talk my shit freely. Don't come for me. Like, that's just me. If you guys don't want the First Amendment, that's on you. Like, that's just my opinion.
I appreciate that sentiment. I only support the First Amendment for leftists, not liberals or conservatives.
Leftist
Ariana listening to
Yeah.
Ariana listening to Nick Fuentes talk. I will defend your right to say it, Nick. Ariana listening to Nick Fuentes use auto-tune to the gulag with you.
All right, y'all. I got 2 more super chats, and I know y'all want to go sleep. So just let me survive through this.
I'm so fucking wired. I am up.
That's what you gotta
Huh?
That's what you got to think of, though, Ariana. Like when you say like that stuff about they should have a right to say it or whatever. Just think of Nick Fuentes and his right to say what he says. That's who you got to. That's your standing.
I don't agree with him. I don't agree with anything he says. But I once we start dictating who can say what, like that's when we start.
Okay, let me ask you this question then, and this is gonna be a very stark question. If you saw Nick Fuentes in the street, you walking past him or you walking in front of him?
To do what?
She's walking arm in arm with him.
You see, like,
do you say it feels like that?
Someone's got an echo going on. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, let me
Oh,
see.
sorry, it's probably me. My bad.
Now?
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, okay, first of all, I'm a woman, and like I'm not about to put myself in like a precarious situation with a white supremacist. So That's first of all. If I'm with like a tall, big white man, then I would go up to him and confront him. If I'm not, then I'm not doing shit. Like I'm a woman at the end of the day. Like I don't like what am I gonna do? I can't change Nick Fuentes' opinion. Like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where I just believe in the First Amendment. Like
Actually, I think you could, Ariana, I think you could take Nick Fuentes, please. We're not talking about like some like Norwegian like Viking Nazi.
He is
we're talking about
wet
Nick
noodle.
Fuentes. You could,
yeah, but we're still talking about a fascist supremacist, and I'm still like a woman who's a woman of color. Like I'm not gonna.
I think you're downplaying. I think you're downplaying. I think you could take Nick Fuentes. I think you're downplaying.
Not if he has a gun.
I think you could
like,
take
what
Nick
am I gonna do if he pulls out a gun?
We're not.
We've seen
You're
it.
thinking
you
way
pull out your
too
gun,
into-
Ariana.
Hey, this is going into like real life. That was a hypothetical. That was just the name, and I just used the name. We're not talking about real life. Yeah, we've seen him get pressed by like a random lady who just went to his yard to tell him he had mail. Trust me, you be all right. You be all right.
I mean, sure, I can confront him, but like I'm not about to change his mind. So I just, I can do it for the video, like, but it's just.
Ariana would do what we would all do if we saw Nick Fuentes. We'd pull out our phones, call him the F slur, and then run away.
Yeah, probably.
Facts.
But we've seen what Nick Fuentes does when he's confronted. He like Paradigm just mentioned.
I honestly don't watch Nick Fuentes, so I don't know. Like I have no.
No, there was that video. Remember? No, there was that video where he said that thing after Trump was elected. Remember? Your body, my choice. And some woman knocked on his door, and he freaked out and pepper sprayed her through his door, like the peephole through the door.
Video.
Like he was a scared little bitch.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Now I will say though, if I run into the YouTuber Destiny, it's on site. I got beef. Running back with that little man for like 5 years. I see Destiny. I'm pulling out everything. So
hey, according to at least one video, there's a good chance you'll run into Nick Fuentes and Destiny at the same place at the same time.
Great. You know what?
The real question though, Ariana, what would you do if you ran into Matt Binder on the streets after all the shit he's been talking?
I would go.
Oh, we've run into each other. We've run into each other. We've run into it.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Met.
Yeah, we met at that event that didn't really do much to court votes, but it was, A for effort.
It was worth a try, though. It was commendable.
Yeah.
I had a good time meeting you all, especially you, Ariana. I felt like we became quick pals.
We still need to do our meetup. I know we keep talking about it, but we dead ass need to meet up. Like, for real. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm taking up way too much time. Does Ariana think that hate speech should be legal? I just believe in the First Amendment. Okay, like shoot me. Amendment. Like
with all the joking, I do agree with Ariana. I don't think the government should be jailing.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Anyone for their speech. I just disagreed with her line of argument for the YouTube channels or whatever, and people. I don't think anyone has a right to do that. But
no. Yeah. I don't think I conveyed my opinion properly, but that was just like really what I was trying to say. Like, I don't want anyone jailed for their opinion as much as I don't agree with it, because then all of us on this podcast start walking into really murky waters if we support something like that. You know what I mean?
1,000%. Yeah. I'm not seeing the one that you just read, unfortunately. I only see the one from JCass. I don't know.
There's only two other ones. There's can y'all play basically every Jubilee video by Man Carrying? It's short and I promise y'all won't be disappointed.
I could pull it up. I googled it and it is short. It's like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe we won't play all of it because I don't want to just like watch the whole video without having people go to the creator's channel. It's this one right here. This is from Man Carrying. Let's maybe watch like half of it so you all can go watch it and tell them that Leftist Mafia sent you. This is, by the way, real quick, Man Carrying thing.
I am a living human being who is currently alive. My first claim is that I don't think I should be murdered. Hello. Okay, I'm going to talk really fast in order to make a half-baked point and just hope you don't call me out on it. Does it really matter if I kill you? Secondly, hold on. Please don't interrupt me. I have a family. Do you have a family? Answer the question. Yes. It matters if you murder me. To you? Yes. But to anyone else? My mother would be disappointed. That's exactly my point. Would anyone else? You're moving the goalposts. For me, it would feel really good to kill you. Like, amazing. Let me get this straight. You believe that you have a better right. I'm saying it would feel good. So you're all fine with this logic that we could just say and do whatever we want? No. Because last I checked, we live in a society and not a Blumhouse purge movie. No, hey, clearly I'm making a pretty good point because everyone's trying to vote you out before I get to the end of my point, which is I've been voted out. Shoot, I was actually really close to getting to the end of my point right there. It's been a pleasure. Cheers. My second claim is, please don't kill me. Please, oh God, please. Whoa. You got here fast. Yeah, well, I really want to kill you. I can tell. First off, I believe in respect. I show respect to everyone, no matter who you are. I believe we're better as a society when we respect one another. No, I appreciate that. Here's why I'm going to kill you. Is that a threat? It is just a statement. Where do you find these people, man? I'm just stating things, and you're being really divisive. Okay. Your car is parked, 30 yards from the door over here. Do you really think you can outrun all 20 of us and get to your car in time? I mean, one of us is gonna kill you. I mean, if not me, one of these other people. No, we're not arguing if it will happen. We're arguing if it should happen. I think so. Please don't kill me. I have so much to live for. It's actually illegal as well, and I'm calling the cops right now. I got voted out. Shoot, I was really close to calling them too. Nice chatting. Cheers. My final.
All right, go watch the rest of it. This is actually really good. This is again man carrying things.
It is very good.
Good recommendation. Thanks.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too.
Good.
Thanks, Jay Cass.
Yeah, that was
good
great.
Good rec.
Kowalski, I think you should invite these right-wingers into a situation where they can be mocked. You can't debate hate, shine a light, and laugh. Grandpa Kowalski had a more direct approach than 1944 years.
Shout out Grandpa Kowalski. Ace.
The real OG.
Yeah.
I love it.
Respect.
Yeah. And then last but not least, the breaker. Thank you so much for $20. That's so sweet. Ariana supporting Lefty Mafia. Lol. Yeah, I am. I did come on late, arguably so, but I'm still here. And thank you so much for having me in Paradigm. It was really nice talking to you. I know we were going back and forth in a friendly way, and I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate respectful discourse. Like I do.
I do too.
Yeah, that was a really good episode. Everyone was saying.
Yeah, I like when we sometimes disagree with each other. We don't usually, so when we do, it's actually really fun and refreshing. And it's just like nice, getting to show people how right I am and how wrong you are. Everyone else. So no, I'm just kidding. No, but really though, it is really fun to debate these things.
Yeah, no, I love having like really like working conversations because I feel like we're really lacking that in our society right now.
Yeah.
As janky as that may sound when I said that.
So do we get the beer now or
oh my god
after the show?
That the shift of like him wanting to fight Charlie Kirk on stage to like let's get a beer after this is like crazy. I was like, all right, dude, like you really went different. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Take care, Ariana. Have a good week.
See you, Ariana.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Lance, did you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go really fast. I have to take off. Robert Stack, thank you for the $2. Hogan, stiffest competition. Rigor Mortis. Taco
Bars is what we're dealing with here.
Taco Face Fire, thank you for the $2. Do you think the WWE will remove Trump from the Hall of Fame?
No.
Why would they do that?
Also, Matt, I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Why they ask a wrestling?
I just want to corroborate that everything you said was correct. Everything you said was very well.
I appreciate that.
Very well laid, and that's why, like, I don't know if you'll notice. I don't know if you ever play these back to see what you're talking about or whatever. But every time you brought up a new thing, I was like, yeah, wow, that's right. We were all in here interested. Like, he know his stuff. He should. We gotta talk.
Right. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I've been a wrestling fan for a very long time.
Matt could talk about wrestling for hours.
I could.
No idea.
Yeah,
I run my own Universe League here on the show as well. So yeah,
cool.
we do a lot. Yeah.
And then David and Lance talk about hockey and all these topics that just go right over my
I'll
head.
talk about video games. I know way more about
But
that.
Video games, that's when I'm insufferable. I nerd out. Yeah.
All right, Tekken first to 10. What are we doing here? Smash Bros. Us four. Winner survives.
I'd rather do Street Fighter for doing fighting games, but
Oh, you don't want to do that, man.
I would get my ass whooped in.
Are you crazy at Street Fighter?
No, I play like I play like a guy who's unemployed, so maybe.
Looney Tunes 9000, thank you for the sticker with the devil horns. Annie Fitzgerald, thank you for being a member with the message Happy Disability Visibility Pride Month, everybody. And that is a follow-up to the second Annie Fitzgerald, $5. It says, and this is important, we didn't talk about this, but Trump quietly signed an executive order today to criminalize the unhoused and disabled people. Please spread the word, fight back, and protect the unhoused. Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know if any of you want to talk about that, but
I
see that.
did reach into that a little bit earlier today. My partner is very adept at getting every news story in my ear before 9 a.m. and I appreciate her for that so much. So this executive order says exactly what it means. It is a very bad time. Let's put it this way. It directly criminalizes the idea of homelessness. It gives states the rights to be able to move people who are unhoused, who cause distractions, or however the city wants to see fit to be removed from their encampments, removed from their places, and housed somewhere off in the distance. It is now legal for the police to pick people up who they deem homeless, and this includes people sleeping in their cars. That includes people sleeping. Trailers have been a part of this. RVs, everything that you could camp. Campers off-site are part of this, and they're all allowed to be put in detention facilities. That is the long and short of it. The greater effect is I don't think people realize that these executive orders don't really hold much weight. It is up to the states and the government's jurisdiction to get these things enacted through concrete policy. They just have the executive order telling them to. The scary part is that there's not really any states rejecting this idea. They've rejected other executive orders. The most notable one is our sea trade agreement. But like on the home front, they're leaning into this. I don't know the solution outside of everyone gets a home. So yes, if you do see things, or if you do see people out on the street, it might be time to start working with your community to at least say, is there a way we can defend these people from the abuse of the police? And if your community says no, you tried. I can't force you to do anything. I can't force you to, but I am letting you know that that is the lay of the land as of, I think, like 8:30 this morning. It's not good.
Cruelty is the point, as always. Sam Rocher, thank you so much for the very generous $10. Thoughts on the Creator Accountability Networks? I don't totally know what that is. I don't know if you guys do, but if it's like if it's similar
Cartoon
to
Network?
No, Creator Accountability Networks. I'm guessing it's similar to maybe like the app T, because I don't know if everyone knows, but there's an app that is really popular with women that basically lets them know if men are abusers. And right now the right are going nuts about that app. And I was just like, why the fuck would you be against something like this? It just sounds like it'll help keep people safe. No, it's similar to the Cartoon Network. Oh, okay. I don't know about the Creator Accountability Network.
Well, I would prefer if there wasn't an app to hold us accountable. I would like to not be held accountable. I'd like to.
This app must not be working because I'm seeing like the worst of the worst still trucking along.
Yeah, we kind of need something like that, like a rating. Like, you know how they have Rate My Professor? We need Rate My Content Creator or something.
Or
okay, I'll check it out.
A mafia that, whether you're on a political spectrum or not, when it's time for the gavel to be swung, there are a group of creators that everybody trusts not to cross, who can swing a gavel and say, hey, we've all decided that you've done too much. You need a break. It's time. And then things happen because we say so. Now you say, oh, we're wielding so much power. I mean, we have the judicial system. Maybe we need that here. And it doesn't have to be in the hands of Dan. It could be in the hands of people who have proven for years and decades, this is a standard that I will never break. When it's time, when it's brought to us, it's time.
They should just give us all the power. I feel like we would use it.
No, just Lance, because he's the only one that's clean shaven, and it's unfair.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I could trust Lance. He's also like, we're buddies. I could influence him.
That's true, actually. Looney Tunes 9000. Thank you for the 199. Jank will probably fail at his Jubilee debate. Not if it's Jank versus 20 leftists. Then he'll crush them. Destroy them. And then finally, Prairie Fire, thank you so much for the $10. Top tier leftist TY shows. Majority Report, Hassan, TYT, but no David Pakman. Sounds correct to me. And yeah, I saw David Pakman was getting called out today for not speaking up too much about what's going on in certain parts of the world. And also thank you to Sweetheart Cat very much for resubscribing. I love you guys. Can you thank the mods? I'm going to send everyone who's watching on my stream the Paradigm Shift, but I got to take Chico out. He's literally lying beside me, staring at me sad right now.
Oh, all right. Take care, Lance.
Bye, everyone.
See you, Lance.
Okay, Matt, did you want to go next?
I could. Sure.
I am at the directive where I must also leave because
okay,
as the serf raids me, I must also be. It's night and there are kids in the house.
Oh, you doing the? You're gonna give us a little John Cena. Give us a little John Cena.
Reach me with that, man. You cannot.
Well,
reach
you were doing this. You were doing this. You were doing the John.
I gotta hit the hat throw. And
the hat throw, right? Hold up the towel with his catchphrase on it.
The last time ever. It's always an honor, gentlemen.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure.
Don't be a stranger.
It was a pleasure.
I am
Likewise.
very, I think, upkept on popular topics. And your audience seems to like me. So, whenever you want to hit me up, this is what I do. I'm here.
All right, we will. You take it
Thank
easy.
you so much for your time, and I am always honored to have a space with you guys to communicate. It makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. So thank you so much.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Take care. All right, let me get to reading these. Here we go. Tokyo Hans with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Tokyo Hans. And Tokyo Hans follows it up with 2 back-to-back super chats. Today's episode was specifically made for Matt. Yes, it was. And my apologies to anyone who, there were a few people who thought I was talking too much. It's not every day that Hulk Hogan dies. This was an episode where I needed to talk a little bit more than usual. All right. So I appreciate you for indulging me. And I promise not to speak more than everybody else until the next pro wrestler dies. Tokyo Hans with another super chat. Sean Mush in the chat and I are shocked Epstein doesn't sound like Mickey Mouse. Binder, please update your impression. All right, my Mickey Mouse Epstein. Oh, when you were playing the Epstein video, right. I played the 5th. Haha. I played the 5th. Haha. Did you see that what was it did we talk about it with the, and I think it was from the we did mention the Steve Bannon stuff with Epstein. But I'm not sure if we talked about this part because I'm not sure if it's from the Bannon thing. But I was reading how Epstein in some interview claimed that it wasn't Trump that banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. It was Epstein who cut ties with Trump once he found out that Trump was like a swindler and a crook.
Yeah, that was from the Steve Bannon interview. That was a clip that Epstein's brother saw of Epstein making this allegation. So yeah.
Right. So there's something like, oh boy, let me tell you something. It wasn't Donald that banned me from Mar-a-Lago. It It was I, Jeffrey Epstein, who thought Trump was a crook. All right, let's go to the next. That's so fantastic, by the way, that Epstein is like, Trump didn't ban me from Mar-a-Lago because I'm a pedophile. I banned Trump from my life because he's a fucking criminal. It's like the two worst people, worst people in the world fighting with each other. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like Trump says he banned me? No way. Riddle Lord, I never know how to say this name. I'm so sorry. Riddle Lord CVE with the $10 super chat. Hope you can play the song tonight. I made it so you won't get strikes for copyright, but you don't have to use it for the intro. Left is best. Riddlor CVE. Oh, you know what? I feel bad. It's not so late, Mike. We sort of went through everyone's super chats early. I saw that Riddlor did send me this. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'll just play it really
Yeah,
quick
feel
if you
free.
don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Hold on 1 second. I got to download it because I don't want that echo thing to happen again. So I'm going to actually drop it in my soundboard. Where is it? Did I put it in the wrong? Oh, I see where I got to put it. Hold on. All right, here we go. This is Riddlor's Leftist Mafia song. Let's see how it is. With the edited version with our suggestions. Our constructive criticism.
Eclectic collective of skeptics, the leftist mafia. Eclectic collective of skeptics, the leftist mafia.
Eclectic collective of skeptics, the leftist mafia.
All type of hustles and all.
All right, this works good. I think.
Stereotypes and all type of myths. Look how they talking.
And then we don't have to worry about the copy. And I think you just drop it in. I feel like it will go with the music video already. It has a similar beat. You know what I mean?
These awful hypocrites with lies dripping off their lips. But they could give a shit about what you really dealing with. It's all for the bag, all for the cash, all for the drip. They're here to get rich. But I ain't here to trip, just all for my analysis. And watch the stones start to get thrown like glass palaces. Cause when they spit that bullshit,
All right,
I gotta
cool.
challenge
We got
it,
another
man.
song to use. We can use multiple.
Very nice. Yeah.
This is good.
I like it.
It definitely works a lot better with the Leftist Mafia thing up front because now it's an intro song.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to we'll definitely put that in the rotation and start using it, Riddlor. It's great, really. It's really good. I
Yeah,
like it a
good
lot
job,
now.
Riddlor.
Dog on the Roof with a super chat. Cash Patel's next children's book on Trump is going to be wild. John Jeffrey says, Jizz Lane, what's next? Seaman Street? Was this before or after I dropped the all-time classic Splooge Drive? That was off the top of the head, by the way.
That was brilliant. Sometimes it just comes to you. Struck a genius. Unintended.
Bradigan with a super chat. There's value to forcing online fascists to defend their fascism face to face, but 20-on-1 isn't the format. Many other than Medi would have crumbled. I don't know. Medi, yeah. There's better ways to go about it for sure. Jackson with a super chat. Shouldn't Dems use the footage of the loony fascists on Jubilee to paint MAGA as that and use that as an advantage? Yeah, they should, honestly. Some of those guys, I mean, all those guys came off bad, but some of them came off like fucking freaks to regular people. Renee with a super chat. Caring about men sounds about white. I mean, listen, my strategy was to go into that men's rights activist debate back in the day. Speaking to that, I do think it's a unfounded sort of concern. There's very few, in my opinion, I mean, I can't think of any on the stuff in my head, like men's issues that are undercovered. I mean, any sort of issue that men go through is usually that affects them, particularly because they are men, is actually usually a result of the patriarchy, which they fucking pretend isn't an issue. Like the idea that men have to, go off to war to defend and whatever. It's like because the patriarchy has decided that, first of all, it's the men in charge. We're sending these men off to war, and then the society has created via the patriarchy this idea that it's the man who must do these things. But yeah, I went in wanting to debate from their perspective, because I saw there was an opening there to actually do that without conceding anything to them, and I think I succeeded. It was my first time doing one of those, and I was like, obviously much younger, very inexperienced, but the idea I felt like was a good one. Looney Tunes 9000 with a super chat. Sadly, Sandy from ECH has been kicked from YouTube. Who's Sandy from ECH again?
I don't know.
Renee with 2 back-to-back super chats. Uncle Adi says that you confuse left with liberalism, revolution with democracy. Fascism creeps in by offering rebellion permitted by economic power. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. William Butler Yeats. Well said. Rob Atkins with a super chat. I think a lot of the uptick in YouTube channel viewership has more to do with people getting sick of corporate-backed news. It's late-stage capitalism. I hope so. Sanity Plate with a super chat. Has anyone made an AI rendering of a gangster movie type dramatization of Trump telling Epstein he loves him before offing him? Right.
I haven't seen that.
Tokyo Hans with a super chat. Chat, I would go on, but Matt is still mad at me about dropping the ball on the Shinzo Abe thing. How did you drop the ball? I don't remember. Troy with a Troy Mosen with a $10 super chat. I heard a story on the radio this morning about a school district in Tennessee. Said doctor's notes will no longer excuse a child's absence, so they would charge a child with truancy for being sick. What? You gotta send me more on that. Marla Surratt with a super chat. Who will they pick on once they get rid of all the undesirables? Who will be the lesser then? Well, that would be the undesirables who align with the fascists. We see plenty of them now. They like to mock the idea of, oh, how could he be a white supremacist if he's Latino, Asian, black, a woman, whatever, Jewish. No, you will, though the people of various marginalized backgrounds who align themselves with the fascists because they thought it'd be good for them will find out really quickly that no matter how hard they try, they will never be pure for the ethno-state. That's who they'll go after then. Red Fire Blue Ice with a super chat for your good, funny impression of Mickey. I appreciate. I appreciate. Now I'm losing it. I appreciate that. I'm losing it now. See, you said something nice about it, and now I fucked it up. The Critical Plug with a $10 super chat. Looking back at Hulk Hogan's earlier career, supporting war, waving the American flag, I think he was always conservative, but I don't know. I thought that was an aha moment looking back. I mean, he was supposed to be just like an all-American guy. I mean, he obviously was always a conservative. The union busting gives that away in real life. But like the character, if you think about it, Superman is supposed to be the all-American. I mean, think about Superman's comic book catchphrase. What is it? Catchphrase, excuse me. Like truth, justice, and the American way. Isn't that like the Superman motto? They didn't use that in the movie, but like, and Superman's supposed to be like the ultimate moral figure. Like that's why I thought this Superman movie was so good, by the way. It's the best portrayal of Superman in a movie I've seen. It retains the comic book feel. It's not dark like Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Superman is consistently concerned about the well-being of others over himself during the battles. It's a good movie and it's a good portrayal of Superman. But like the idea is supposed to be that, like, I mean, Hulk Hogan's famous theme song, I am a real I mentioned it earlier. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. Not every American he's fighting the rights for. Fight for the rights of every man. This is like American ideal of doing the right thing, standing up for what's right, no matter what that is. Like, I don't think that ideal has ever honestly been true, but it certainly doesn't exist still to this day. I think that's what people would like it to be, though. Like I mean, I do think there are people who do feel that way. I think America, in the position of a world power, should be the moral authority to stand up for what's right. That's what Superman does in the fucking movie. Not to give any spoilers. I'm not giving any spoilers to like any reveals or anything, but this is a major plot line in the movie. There's a country in the Superman movie called Baravia, which is very clearly supposed to be Israel. And there's another country called Jamanpur, something like that, which is very obviously supposed to be Palestine. And in the movie, they allude to the fact that, what is it, Baravia? And I want to make sure I get it right. Baravia.
I think it's Jaranpur, right? I think you got it right.
Hold on. Baravia, Superman. Jarhanpur. So Baravia in the Superman movie, Baravia is supposed to be very clearly supposed to be Israel. Jarhanpur is very clearly supposed to be Palestine. They allude to the fact that Jarhanpur has potentially had some ties with nefarious groups like terrorists. But even Superman calls that out in a conversation with Lois Lane as that's just like the government's line, and that they've never shown any proof of that. But whatever. I mean, clearly, but that's not my main point here. But Baravia in the Superman movie is U.S.'s ally. And Baravia invades Jarhanpur. And Superman, they don't show this. This has already happened by the time we enter the movie. It's discussed. Superman has gotten himself into trouble because he interceded with Baravia's invasion of Jarhanpur to stop Baravia from invading Jarhanpur. And he gets very emotional talking to Lois Lane. Now, Lois Lane knows he's Superman. This isn't an origin story. They take you right into the movie from the very beginning with some things already laid out. Lois Lane already knows Clark Kent is Superman. They already have relations. They're seeing each other. So this is not a spoiler. But he gets very emotional when she's questioning him for getting involved. And he goes, he screams at her, people were going to die. Like, he is very clearly supposed to be like this moral figure of what like a human being, an American human being, as in a person, a caring individual with power. That's the American part of him in this. That's how I take it. Because they don't do the whole flag waving in this movie. But like he mentions this. He had to do something. And, I think that's what like the original Superman sort of meant when they were like truth, justice, American way. Because he's supposed to be this moral authority. But we're not that. I wish we were. Sorry for going on that tangent. You were giving me a Hulk Hogan comment. But I just saw that Superman movie, and it's so, so, so good. It is so good. I really, really enjoyed it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. And I already went into it hearing all the things, and I thought it was very good. Everything about it, everything they did with it, all the changes they made, the way they portrayed Superman's adoptive parents, the way they portrayed Crypto the dog, that could have been just everything about it was so good. You just got to see it.
And as somebody who does not typically like Superman and was not expecting to see it in theaters, I second everything that you're saying. It was so good.
Right. I love how the dog is just like a dog that's like just happened to be born with superpowers. Like he's not a superhero dog. Like I went into it thinking like, oh, I guess he's gonna like help Superman. Like he does, but he does it by Superman tricking him to do dogly things. Like he's still a dog. Really cute. He's not like a well-trained like super dog like fighting the bad guys because he knows he's fighting bad guys. It's really well done. It's really well done. Joe McClory with the super chat. The true tragedy of today is that Hogan can't suffer from a heart attack for every wrestler that had to go without health care or a union. You know, I mean, like he really fucked it over for them. I mean, there's never been an attempt before, and I really do think like Jesse Ventura was the guy to do it. There's been no one who's come along since to like really push for that. And I think that was probably the time to do it too, before wrestling became so big. You basically were saying you would have to find a completely new career or leave, like, or the WWE is that's it. Kowalski, the song is good, but Mike is just thinking to himself, it ain't no T-Pain.
It's very nostalgic. T-Pain was popular when I was in college, and I loved it so much.
Cerise with the super chat. Sandy from Environmental Coffee House was removed by YouTube on some absurd child endangerment BS.
Seriously?
She talks climate change. What? I've looked into that. Weird. And Tokyo Hans with a super chat. In the Shinzo Abe incident, it was the one day I had to go to the office and didn't watch the news. Heard about the thing from you as I was listening in the background. You gave me shit on my call-in. Oh, yeah, right. So Tokyo Hans is literally in Tokyo. Obviously, it's in his name. He works there. He lives there. And he's watching the stream during his lunch. And I'm streaming at night, like 9, 10 p.m. He's having probably 11 at that point. He's having his lunch because of the time difference. And I say on the stream, like, oh, shit. Shinzo Abe was just assassinated, and he found out living in Tokyo from me in the U.S. on my stream. I thought it was funny. I forgot about that.
That is funny.
Very good. Yeah. And that's it for me, I think. Oh, over on Twitch, Ponderosapine with a super chat, a resubscribe for 15 months at tier 1, subscriber for 42 months. Wow. Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy has been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all these things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? This is unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this. It just seems like a desecration. But you go ahead. Sure. Right. Yeah.
That should become a meme. Okay, I have a lot because I have David Dole's in here too. I'm not sure which are his and which are mine, so I'm just going to try to do my best to go through them as quickly as possible because there's quite a bit and I want to make sure I get to everybody. So Fritza, thank you for the 9 months there. Sam says, thoughts on Stephen Colbert's show being canceled and should we be concerned about the threat of free expression on media being silenced? Yes, I'm not a fan of Stephen Colbert, but I think that it's gross that his show was canceled for political reasons. Obviously, that was the case. The FCC chair hinted at that today, or at least didn't deny it. And yeah, I am concerned about media being silenced for sure. Sam also says Superman was great in IMAX 3D. Oh, I bet that would have been amazing. The Robot Chicken says Hulk Hogan was not vaxxed, so that can't be it. Did he know something about the files? Did Trump have him taken care of? Just asking questions. Wow, I did not think about that, but I mean, it is a question that should be asked, indeed. Jeremy says, more sad that Mangione died than Hogan. F. Hogan. Hideous Lemon says, how much do you think Trump's going to piss himself about South Park? Rip Ozzy, crab rave for Hogan. So apparently they were very mad. He was seething over the South Park episode, according to Rolling Stone. So he watched it. Drew says, Brian Posen did a great bit on the Hogan sex tape. Okay. Jeremy says, I miss Andre. Jeremy also says, Mike, your shirt is worth the extra super chat. Well, thank you so much. It is Zelda. It's Link from The Legend of Zelda. Message from Drew. I don't see any text or stickers, but thank you so much. Jeremy says, the true Triforce equals Medicare for all, ranked choice voting, and free college. Indeed. Jeremy also says, Jizz Lane is well to the climax. You're welcome. Good job. Kenzie, member for 25 months. Thanks so much, Kenzie. J. Cass says, este mensaje en únicamente para ver debe luchar al leerlo. That was embarrassing, but I did my very best, J. Cass. I have not practiced my Spanish in a very long time, so my apologies for that. Thank you for the message. Cyborg Manifesto says all but 30 members of Congress received AIPAC bribes, and now this exposed Mossad pedophile blackmail ring victimizing American kids. When will the public demand to end Gaza genocide and Israeli aid? I mean, I feel like for the most part, the public is already very much in favor of ending it. It's just Congress that does not care at all. Unfortunately, they don't care what we think. Our input is completely disregarded. Jeremy says, off topic but important, please support Abdul El Sayed for U.S. Senate in Michigan. He should have been our governor, but DNC Dem said no, so he got Whitmer. Yeah, he's a great candidate. I actually talked about him in a recent video. Great guy. Chen Lan Gnomes, thanks for the generous $20. Anyone got a tiny sci-fi device that makes certain politicians age like 10 years? We're going to spend the next 50 years fixing the mess made in the next 5. That would be handy, for sure. Tiger says, Mike really pulled the I have old friends card. I do. I totally have old people friends. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. I have no friends. So. Jeremy says, guys, Ariana is getting frustrated because you're not letting her talk. Yes, I tried to make a little space for her to jump in. Sometimes we do talk over each other, and we all got to work on that, myself included, of course. Autistic Goblin says, I watched a video essay about how toxic Jubilee is, and that entire genre, a video by Kevin S. from a month ago. Medi's vid is not uniquely awful. All are. I'll have to check that out. Jeremy says, I understand Ariana, but it's a wrong take. They should have a voice, but not a platform, if that makes sense. I think I understand what you're saying, Jeremy. Archangel says, get Kyle Kalinske on. His channel is skyrocketing, and he would be a great guest. Matt, you look good in the hat. David, thanks for not having tarp behind you, making us think you're homeless. So I have actually reached out to Kyle Kalinske. Thursdays just aren't a great day for him, but at some point we'll have to see if there's a free Thursday that he can make it on, because I agree, Kyle would be awesome to have on. Rowan says, for Ariana. And Sarah with a 20 super chat. Thanks so much, Sarah. My 16-year-old daughter and all her friends watch Jubilee. It's huge among Gen Z. Yes, it's terrible, but lots of people are watching. Mehdi said in an interview that his kids watch, which is one of the reasons why he went on. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that all of Jubilee is bad. They have things that are less problematic, and they have things that are just fun. Like, I watched a video like a month ago, spot the fake Star Wars fan out of like other people who were Star Wars fans. I enjoyed that. Things like that are fine, but when they start bringing on Nazis, that's like specifically where I draw the line. Like actual dangerous content like that. But yeah, no, it's you can't deny its popularity for sure. Tara says, didn't Jenk announce he's going on Jubilee? He did. I may need to watch that one. Because I mean, how could you not? This is the problem, is that like slop content is entertaining and it draws you in, right? Tiger says, I think Jubilee has the problem with the paradox of tolerance. Being tolerant of intolerance leads to the target of the intolerant being disappeared. Yeah, I mean, it's the Karl Popper statement of don't tolerate intolerance. Yeah, I agree with you, Tiger. Autistic Goblin says, can you spot the autistic was fun because the people were famous auts? They tested the theory that auts can spot their own result. No, they can't. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, that's interesting. If they did it like in a way that isn't dehumanizing or puts autistic people down, then that's good. I don't have faith in Jubilee based on like the debates they've had. Like they had a gay guy debate 25 conservatives or 20 conservatives, and it was extremely disgusting. They were basically being so shitty to him, and the way that they were forcing him to defend his own humanity really was gross. So like when I saw the autistic thing, like the title, I'm just like, they're doing this too. Like we're doing everything to make everybody who is marginalized or like neurodivergent or just different feel like shit. So that's good that it's at least not a terrible one. You never know with Jubilee though. Tara says the one fascist guy was fired and then he went on to make over 20K in donations. Is that a real victory? People support him and what he said. Yeah, Tara, I mean, that's a good point, right? Because even though he was fired and there were technically consequences, he made a year's salary. It's kind of crazy.
No, I mean 25,000. That's all he made.
He made over 30 now.
Over 30? Okay, that's not a year's.
It's
salary.
A lot of money. That's a lot of money.
I definitely think it sucks that he's making money, obviously, off of this. But he's again like, listen, that woman who called the child the N-word and they raised over $1 million for her. That's crazy because $1 million is like enough to be set for a very, very long time.
You're just good. You're good.
Yeah. 30,000 is not enough to have ruined your career for. How long is that going to last him? Half a year? Like, this guy is done. Like, that video, you know, like, obviously it sucks he's getting an easy 30K. Obviously, I would love an easy 30K. But I would not, like, give up any chance of being hired for who knows how many, years, if not forever, for 30,000. That's not enough fuck you money. Fuck you money's got to be a lot of money.
Yeah. Matthew the Celt, thanks for becoming a YouTube member. Autistic Goblin says, don't dehumanize the psychopaths. We need to reckon with the humanity of bigotry and hate, expose the psychopathy, and make people face it. Chris says, journalism grad here. That happy story at the end of news is called The Cooler, and it's so you don't completely depress your viewers. Interesting. Cyborg Manifesto says, responding to Paradigm's question, I feel the Rubicon for most Americans is when their particular identity group gets sent to the camps. That's fair. DJ Prodigy says, been fucking with you and Kyle for over a decade, Mike. I appreciate y'all. Don't watch live, but I listen to y'all on my long runs for my marathon training. That's so nice. Thank you so much, DJ Prodigy. I really appreciate you saying that. That's all, over a decade. That's crazy. That's really cool. Thank you so much. Tiger says, why not start with the version of Jubilee via webcams? I mean, yeah, possibly. That, you could boot them if they say something too sussy. I don't know. JJ Sayin says, the new South Park episode made me laugh so much as they gave him the Saddam treatment. There needs to be more of this exposing Trump and MAGA. Yeah, I agree. It was such a great episode because it really felt like, I don't know, a pivotal moment in the culture where everything was pro-MAGA and it was slowly shifting back in our direction. And then this was like the turning point where it was yanked back. And now Trump is officially the laughingstock again, to the extent that South Park is a cultural barometer. It's hard to say, but to me, it really felt cathartic to see them shit on him like that, like relentlessly. And it wasn't just about Trump, really. It was them getting at Paramount. But Trump was the butt of the joke. And I really enjoyed it. And I haven't watched South Park in a really long time. I just found it boring and stale. I particularly don't care for the Tegrity Farms arc. I just think that's so boring. And but this was great. Leftist Ginger says, I think Dropout TV is a decent example of non-political content by nature that is done by people on the left and works as that leftist pipeline. That's a great thing to check out. I will look at them. Look, I'm a nerd. I have a second channel I don't really use. Maybe I should start doing like fucking nerd content that has like a slight leftist tilt to it, just to like subtly get people to move to the left. I mean, Ole is very successful with her pop culture channels, so maybe we need to fill that void. Jeremy says, Repubs don't compromise, Dems do increment. That's why we're where we're at. Dems need to go straight to the point. Pub option is a hoax. Yeah, Medicare for all or bust. Rolando Capilleja says, great to see such solidarity among late night hosts. Execs claim financial losses, yet they just rewarded $16 million to avoid fighting a meritless lawsuit. Yeah, that was nice to see. The solidarity, that is. Jeremy says, can we auto-tune Trump, please? That motherfucker's voice. Oh, it might make it more insufferable, honestly. Tiger says, Mike, I was supposed to send you a link to my group that was battling misinformation. Sorry, I didn't send it yet. I can send it in the comments here. Hey, no problem. You can also email me, mike@humanistreport.com. I do not check my email every day, so it might be a while before I get back to you, but feel free to shoot it over. Chris says that happy story is also called a kicker. LOL, useless factoids of the day. Good night, folks. Thanks for the info, Chris. That's interesting. Jeremy says, will we have POTUS elections in 2028? We'll definitely have elections. The question is whether or not they will be fair. Jeremy says, Mike, you need to move to East Coast. I'm tired. I can't ever see myself leaving the Pacific Northwest. I genuinely love it here so much. It's beautiful. I love some of the people, and it's where I was born and raised, and I love it. It's just I would like to see the world more at some point, travel more. But I don't think I'm ever gonna move anywhere else. I love the Pacific
Mike
Northwest
loves
much.
Mike loves those white ethno-state origins of the great state of Oregon.
I mean, look, it does suck that PNW has some very, very rural areas that are extremely racist. But if you get into the city, like the Tri-Cities area, I mean, it's great. It genuinely is great. And the people, for the most part, are very personable and nice. It just, you deviate from the Tri-Cities.
Mike's
and
over
it's
there
a little
going.
sussy.
Mike over there is doing the Oregonian version of heritage, not hate.
I just feel like I'm such a hipster. I fit right in, like, in Portland, and I always make a joke that, like, if you go to Portland, you'll see like 25 different people that look just like me with tattoos and beards and glasses. I don't know. I just like, yeah, I have no plans to leave, but never say never. Eugene says, thank you for standing up for the trans community when we are under attack. As a trans high school teacher in the South, it's very nice to see. That's amazing that you're a trans high school teacher. Good for you. And you're welcome. But I don't feel like I need to be thanked for just being like a reasonable person and not a shitty person. Everybody should be standing up for the trans community. But I appreciate, that you find the coverage to be good. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. ABS says, hey Mike, the amazing world of Gumball is getting a revival along with a new season of Smiling Friends. Also wanted to know if you were cool with being contacted via DMs on Twitter and Blue Sky. Absolutely, ABS, feel free. Jace says, not gonna lie, I think Jubilee, the channel, should be deleted. They crossed the line and they have a record of misleading their guests. The channel is unethical. I think they at least need to take some accountability and maybe delete the episode with Mehdi Hassan. They're not going to do that because it got a lot of views and it's going to make them a lot of money probably. But they really need to, like the scrutiny that they're receiving for that is warranted, because I genuinely do agree with you that they crossed the line for sure.
This one was way too much.
Agreed.
Like,
yeah.
It's one thing to like have a bunch of like, your run of the mill conservatives on, and like, there's one or two far right conservatives that get through. Complete other thing to have like a fucking panel full of Nazis who are outright volatile to your main your main, guest, literally fucking harassing him to his face about leaving the country.
That's not okay at all in any context. Like, I feel like they have a
honestly,
responsibility to protect their guests.
Someone should have fucking stepped in. Like a producer should have fucking stepped in and said, listen, there's certain things we're not going to allow during our fucking taping.
Right.
Like, this was a failure of the people involved with the production of that show.
They have no shame. They just they probably like this because it's a viral moment. It gets eyeballs, but they need to have some fucking standards at a minimum, right? Like, I'm not saying like cancel Jubilee, delete their channel. I'm just saying that they need to acknowledge the responsibility that they have. They're not going to do that though, because they care more about money, because this is a business. But yeah, it's just,
but like,
they just crossed the fucking line.
It's not like it happened once though. Like, it happened once. Let's say it happened once.
Yeah.
Someone says that to Mehdi. They step in. They still use the footage because it makes for a great moment. Okay, but they stepped in. In the edited the unedited version, and they step in and say, "We're not going to have that anymore." Like, They didn't fucking do that, obviously, because it happens multiple times throughout. And at certain points, I swear there's a few guys on that look like they want to physically assault him. Like they look like they are shaking and like they're fidgeting with themselves to stop themselves from fucking getting violent. It is honestly very disturbing to watch some of those guys.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, that's gross. Ox says Hulkster is dead. High five through Windows. Your Windows. High five. Pendula says, drop that beat, boys. Yeah, that was a good beat by Riddlecore. Or Riddle Lore. Jeremy says, real talk 2026, support your progressive candidates, accept nothing less. Do not relent to partisan hackery. The Dems are complicit with where we're at. If we don't, 2028 is a pipe dream. Pendulous says, Sandy from Environmental Coffee House. Yeah, I'll have to reach out to her and see what the heck's going on, because I want to signal boost whatever effort she has to restore her channel if that did happen. That's she's such a sweet person. I was on the Left Past 10 podcast with her, and she's great. So yeah, I'll try to figure out what the heck is going on. Jeremy says, I'm betting you were stoic with all the previous SCs. Honestly, why I appreciate that. You explained previously why, and I love you all more for it. Thanks so much, Jeremy. Red Fire Blue says, Mike, can you invite Leah Passaniti? I'm not sure who that is, but I'll look into them. Jeremy says, please reach out to Abdullah El Sayed. That'd be great, actually. That's a good idea. Thanks for being a member for 5 months, MH. And Jeremy, thanks for the gifted membership. Very kind of you. Jeremy, you've sent like 1 million super chats tonight. So really, thank you so much for your kindness. Rolando says, Superman exceeded expectations. Will F4 do as well? I don't think that it's gonna exceed Superman, but since Superman kind of like got me so hyped up for like superhero movies a little bit again, at least if they're different, then maybe I'll enjoy Fantastic Four, whatever the fuck the name is. Final Fantasy 4. Yeah. Maybe I'll check that out too. I like Pedro Pascal.
I don't know if fine. You're having me do it now. Fantastic Four is going to be late. as good. I
like the concept of it being like a 60s superhero thing. I think that's actually really unique. I'm tired of the same like Marvel formula.
Well, so actually, I'm actually pretty sure it's supposed to take place in modern day, but the multiverse Fantastic Four is set in though, because you know how Marvel does the multiverse thing. Mm-hmm. The universe that Fantastic Four is in, that's just the style of today.
Oh.
Like, it's not supposed to be in the past, from my understanding. It's supposed to just be like that world. That's the style that they're currently in.
Oh, interesting. I haven't even seen a trailer yet. I've seen like GIFs from the trailer of people shitting on it when they first released a teaser. I saw those on Twitter, but I never like sat down and watched the full trailer. Maybe I'll rethink it then, because I thought it would be different, but we'll see.
I mean, I don't know how they would have. I'm kind of happy that it's not that, because I don't know how they would have introduced Fantastic Four. I mean, clearly they're headed towards another big Avengers movie, and how you would introduce the Fantastic Four if they're like in the 60s, and then like the new Avengers movie takes place where they show up and they're like in their 90s or something. Like
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, if I see the trailer and it's very Marvel-y, like the stupid like witty humor and shit, if it looks too much like the shit Marvel has been putting out, I'm gonna avoid it. I'll wait for some reviews maybe.
I think my issue with this, as someone who's a big comic book fan, is that it feels too late in the Avengers arc to introduce the Fantastic Four. They're a core team. Like, they wouldn't just be coming into the world now. Mm-hmm. They are like the original Marvel superhero team. They would have been there from the beginning. I'm interested to see how they do it, but that's what turns me off of it, because they're way too deep into the Marvel Cinematic Universe to be introducing the fucking Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I mean, they're like they're the mains, right? Like, I feel like Ant-Man is more obscure than them.
Yeah.
Oxpecker says you should have Redolent Thought or a Peacefire now on your show. They've done a lot of good helping other small creators get exposure, or Dead Domain. We actually did have Dead Domain on. They were on like a month or two ago. They were awesome. I've not heard of those other two creators, but I will try to look into them. I'm always happy to bring on new people. Bayphoto says Mehdi mentioned in an interview that there were other vile racist things said at his Jubilee taping that got cut out for being too extreme. That doesn't surprise me, honestly. Like, the shit that they said that they allowed on camera was insane. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was even worse stuff. Jeremy Elwood says that I need to move to the West Coast. I miss it. Yeah, the West Coast is amazing. And it's earlier than it is on the East Coast, so that's the benefit. Although it's always like we're late to the news in the morning that's already happening on the East Coast. Anyways, Kowalski says, you will leave the PNW when the Cascadia subduction zone finally ruptures and the whole area is reduced to gravel. Get out now. Run. Jeremy says that I need to move to the West Coast. I missed it. Was out there as field director for a political campaign for 9 months. Missed it. That's really cool. Good for you. And last one, Jeremy says, Final Fantastic Super Chat for Final Fantasy Fantastic 4. There we go. Well, I don't have anybody on Twitch that sent anything. So, one last from Max Left. Fantastic Four is amazing. Galactus gets yeeted.
Wait, you saw the movie? You saw Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four movie?
There's one more.
In 8 minutes? Well, you probably saw an early preview, obviously, but...
Tara says, I believe Matt is right. It's just 60s futuristic vibe, but if it makes you feel better, Matt in their universe, they're the only superheroes. Interesting.
All right, so I wonder how they're gonna. I guess they open the multiverse or something. I mean, they got to explain why they're not there though for Thanos, because they would be there. Like they are a core. Like they also have to explain when because they're obviously getting ready to introduce the X-Men. They got to explain why the X-Men weren't there. Like the ultimate fucking threat to the entire multiverse universe, and you're like a superhero who's not there. Like they got to find a way to fucking explain that shit.
Do you want to raid Dead Domain?
Not Michael says maybe it's standalone. No, everything in the Marvel universe is connected now. The only thing they said they're not going to do anymore is connect the shows, because they said it was too much to expect people to see all the fucking shows and the movies. But the movies are definitely all still interconnected.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I have two. Oh no, these were mine. The Superman one, and my bad. Thank you, Rolando and Max Left. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's raid. Who do you want to raid?
Let's do Dead Domain. I don't think that we've raided them in a really long time.
Yeah, let's do that. Hold on. I'm looking for. Is this Dead Domain? Like
somebody says they're offline. They just went offline. Want to do Amy C3?
Yeah, let's do Amy C3. Sounds good to me.
Right.
I'm pressing that start raid button.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
All right. Hansi says, Hansi, it's nice to see you. How much is Binder getting paid for all these superhero ads? Hey, I just enjoy the movies. I wish Marvel and DC were paying me. Absolutely, I would fucking take that money. All right, everyone. What a wonderful show. I appreciate. I had a lot of fun tonight. I hope you all did too.
Show.
And we will see you all again real soon. I'm pressing raid now. Are you pressing it, Mike?
Yes, I am. Take care, everybody.
Peace.